to take a 3-0 series lead in the 2024 finals.
48 minutes of everything you got. Everybody competing at a high level and doing whatever it takes on both ends, every single possession.
I think it says a lot about them. The guys understand the game. They understand why we do what we do, and they work to execute it as best as they can.
It's basketball. They went on a run. They had some momentum, but we kept our poise. We made timely baskets. We got some good shots going in, and we found a way to win.
Kevin, we're way through Game 4 of the NBA Finals. You heard Joe Missoula and Jaylen Brown there. Think about 2 Septembers ago. Joe Missoula was a second-row assistant with limited duties, and basically no one knew who he was. Then all of a sudden, on September 23rd, he's the head coach of the team, and now he's got Boston in the NBA Finals. One of his star players is Jaylen Brown.
The coaching staff has been fantastic all season long. I've been saying that throughout the regular season, even before we got to the playoffs. It's been super organized. We've walked through all different types of scenarios. We've been overly prepared. They make sure that we know. Sometimes it's you got the coaches, they game plan, but they don't always let you know exactly what they're thinking. They tell us everything, super transparent, and we trusted it. We trusted, and I thought that has been great. So Joe has been a big key reason to that, and he showed himself in his playoffs. He's been coaching his ass off.
Yeah, there we go. Just 2 losses for Joe Missoula's Boston Celtics. He sat down before Game 4 with Mark Kessler and PJ Colissimo.
Kevin, thank you very much. Joe, what is it about this team when the lead is slipping away, allows it to relax, to focus, stay poised, and then execute?
Yeah, I think they're able to, in real time, build an awareness to, it's a game of runs. Everybody says it until you're actually in it. And so the guys have a great awareness into understanding the runs of the game, understanding why a team is going on a run, understanding why it's going well or why it's going poorly, and then fighting quickly to get it back. So you're never going to stop runs in the NBA, but you have to learn how to manage those through execution and through winning plays. And I think our guys have an understanding of what that entails.
Joe, I thought early on when Dallas came out and scored, which really kind of started all 3 games the same way with the little spurt, made some shots. I thought your guys' poise and getting back in it in the first quarter was really good, but it seemed like it was mostly offense. You kind of did it. It looked like neither team could stop the other in the first quarter. And once you got untracked offensively, but it was kind of a high-scoring, not as effective defensive quarter.
Yeah, I thought once we were able to, I think you go into it, everything's about risk management and leverage against these guys. And so when you go into it, it's what can you control and what can't you control? And I thought in the first quarter, we gave up a lot of things that we could have a better control over. And so I thought our offense kept us in it. And once we were able to get back to the game plan and the disciplines of our tendencies and our system, I thought we were able to take control of the game. And that's the fight against a team so talented like this is the discipline to over and over again execute what you need to execute.
During the stretch when things got tough in the fourth quarter, you had some helps out of the corner. They finally got some corner threes. They got the one lively dive to the basket when they weren't sure whether to switch or stay or whatever. There were a couple defensive mistakes that were really uncharacteristic of the way you had been playing up to that time.
Yeah, listen, they test your discipline every possession. And we still made some of those mistakes in the first 2 games. They just didn't capitalize the way they were able to at a more critical moment of the game. And so the entire game is about discipline, and you have to be able to execute is over and over and over again, knowing that you're not going to play perfect, and then can you make the plays necessary. So I like the way our guys stay in the mindset of executing even when it doesn't go well.
Joe, will you talk to them at all about it? It's kind of convoluted logic, but hey, guys, it's not going to be more fun or better to win it at home, Game 5 or something like that. We got to get this thing done right now. Any message to how important Game 4 still is?
Yeah, Game 4 is important because it's the next game. Regardless of if it was 2-1 either way, Game 4 is the next opportunity for us to execute and to play. And so the focus just needs to remain on what has gotten us to this point. Also playing without an expectation. If you think for 1 second that you're not going to get even a better version of Dallas tomorrow that you got last night, then you're kidding yourself. So we just got to be ready for that. And, I thought the guys were. I think to be down 1 on the road was a gift that we got to be grateful for. And we got to expect to be in tougher situations tomorrow, and, we'll be judged by how we handle it.
Thought Sam Hauser and Xavier Tillman really gave you some great minutes off the bench with no Kristaps Porzingis. I think many of us, are just hearing reports maybe KP doesn't come back, but that's not necessarily true. Is there a chance that he's available for Game 4?
There's a chance. He's day-to-day. Everything will just depend on what's in the best interest of his health, and we'll just go from there. So he's gotten a little bit better from today than he was yesterday, and we just got to continue to look at that.
All right, so there's yesterday with Joe Missoula, with Mark Kessler and PJ Carlissimo. The news is Kristaps Porzingis is available as we welcome back Monica McNutt. But as Joe Missoula said earlier, it's under specific situations, like very specific. Monica, I want to go big picture, broad strokes here with Joe Missoula, because I said off the top, 2 Septembers ago, he's a dude sitting in the second row of the coaching staff, and no one knows who he is. And then all of a sudden, the next day, he's the head coach of the Boston Celtics in the Ime Udoka disaster, whatever happened there. Over the 2 years, from people you've talked to, what do you hear around the league about how Joe has grown as a head coach?
Well, one, it's similar to what we said of the 2 stars on this team in Jalen and Jason. You just cannot replace experience. And so he has a season of experience under his belt. I think he has a roster that is suited to how he likes to play. As much as the three-point shooting is sometimes bemoaned by Celtics fans, when this team shoots 50% or more from the three-point line, they've actually been pretty successful in this postseason, right? And so he's got a staff that he was able to hire. And so I think those are some of the things that when you talk to folks within this organization have contributed to him being successful and having more buy-in from the collective as far as his actual players. And so he is probably in one of the more unique situations in sports. Like off the top of my mind, I think of a Steve Kerr, right, who was put in position with a roster that had tremendous promise. But even in the case of Kerr, like that team, I think had 22-1 odds of getting to the finals in their first championship, although he went on to form a dynasty. This group, clearly, under Udoka, and for a while, basically since the tandem of Jalen and Jason have been together, have had the potential and the expectation to get here. And it took Missoula a year to really settle in the head coach role.
All right, so the other side, by the way, you mentioned Jason Tatum. He loves his coach.
The closer you are to winning, the closer they are to surviving. And basically just trying to remind us in the group that we still got a long way to go. We still have to play the right way. We still got to win, that, they're not going to quit. That we should expect the best from them from here on out.
Jason Tatum reminding Monica, everyone, of what the message is. On the flip side, you heard they're not going to back down. If you're Jason Kidd, before we hear from the Mavs head coach, what kind of adjustments are you making tonight before Game 4?
Well, I know you guys have heard me talk about focus with Luka, but I think the biggest thing is to have your team locked in terms of the compete level, right? I just don't think that they have been locked in that category. The second one for me is you got to play faster. This is a team that got 23 points off of transition during the regular season. They've not been able to do that in this series at all, right? The percentages are a little bit wonky. They're only getting 15% of their productivity out of transition. But that is the way for this team to get energized. I think by playing faster, you have an opportunity to score over 100, a mark that they've been held under. Like, when have the Dallas Mavericks scored less than a point per possession? That's just crazy for them. And so I think if I'm Jason Kidd, you're asking your stars to completely lock in and lead the way in terms of the competition level, but you're also asking your role players to play with tremendous confidence. The ball has to move. This Boston Celtics team has the athletes and has the defensive identity to fly around, but they, as athletic as they are, cannot move faster than the basketball. So I think the biggest adjustment is creating more off-ball actions, and things have to happen quicker. ISO has not panned out well for this Mavs squad today in this series.
Let's hear from Jason Kidd. He spoke with Kesty and PJ.
Kevin, thank you. Jason, I know it's never an easy spot, down 0-3. 2 big rallies the last 2 games. Quick turnaround now as we get set for Game 4. What's the approach heading into this one?
Yeah, we got to build on the fourth quarter. I thought we were desperate. We have to be aggressive. And I thought the guys out there, got us back into the game. And that's the way we got to play for 4 quarters if we want to beat Boston.
Jay, I thought everybody was wondering what's it going to be like first game home, and you shot the ball well in games 1 and 2 early, like 7 for 10, 6 for 10 to get started. I thought first quarter there was great energy, but it was almost mostly offensive energy. Like it was neither team could stop each other, and it was encouraging, but it was mainly offense in the first quarter.
Yeah, I thought we got off again to a great start offensively. Defensively, we let Tatum get off at the three-point line, which we've talked about a lot of making him drive the ball. But I thought, again, game 2 and 3, the end of the first, we have to be better. We had control of the game. We gave up 5 points last night where we, again, instead of it being a 1-point game, we could have taken control of that first quarter. So we got to do better at ending quarters here if we want to beat Boston.
I know your mindset's different than ours, but we come out of the third quarter and it's 15 points, and I'm thinking it doesn't look good, but there's a ton of time left. And then they make the 2 threes and you take a timeout. I didn't like your chances at all at that point, and you played probably the best, 8 minutes in a row, defense and offense. You played so well on both ends of the court.
Well, I think when you look at that point in the game before the 15-point lead, it's a 6-point game, and we were on the bench, and it felt like the group felt like we were down by 30, and we were trying to be positive and get everybody to understand it's a 2-possession game, and then it jumps up to 15, and then we talked about just work the games, take one possession at a time, and I thought the guys really did that. We got turnovers, we got missed shots, we ran. I thought our pace was a lot better in Game 3, and we're going to have to do that in Game 4 if we want to win.
Mavericks head coach Jason Kidd getting set for Game 4 of the finals. I know there's been a lot of criticism for Luka here on the off day between Games 3 and 4. How do you keep his frustration level to a minimum as they continually attack him?
Yeah, just understanding the game plan for Boston is not going to change. They're going to put him in every possession, pick and rolls, octagon side pick and roll, or 11 at the mid pick and roll, and they're going to make sure that he has to work. And so he's got to put up a better fight. Understand that he has help behind him. And then on the offensive end, we got to make sure that we can put him in a better situation so he doesn't have to work so hard.
Jason Kidd with PJ Carlissimo, Mark Kestisher, back to American Airlines Center. Monica McNutt, before I get your keys to game number 4 tonight, what's the atmosphere like there as the crowd has started to fill in?
You know, I need a good vocab word to describe it, Winter, as I survey the scene. I will say I feel like I see more green jerseys than I saw in Game 2, or Game 3, excuse me. I think we got a loud boo when the Celtics came out. I may have hopped on heads with you, so I don't want to insult these fans, but I did not hear much when the Mavs came out. I'm sure these fans did acknowledge, though. Tense, I think, is probably the best word.
There we go.
There are Celtics fans that are here with a ton of confidence, and there are sheepish Mavs fans in attendance.
All right, so your keys to the game, each side. How does Dallas force this? How does Boston say to hell with it? And let's complete the sweep, and let's start the party for the weekend.
All right, so I'm looking for second chance opportunities, right? The Mavs have to figure out a way to generate more offense. And so to me, if they can get on the glass, mix it up with second chance opportunities, spray the ball out off of some of those rebounds, and hope that the Celtics defense is not reestablished, that's a look they need to consider. I also think the Mavs need to play faster. They've got to get some baskets in transition, and they've got to get their guys going, so the ball needs to move up and down the floor and side to side quicker. As good as their defense has been in this one, every ball player, you got to see the ball go through the basket just for your morale, and I think that's where they're struggling. On the Celtics side, I think they need to continue to operate with patience and poise, right? They've done a great job of understanding when they should be pushing and when they need to settle down and execute. Late in Game 3, when Jaylen Brown waved off his teammates and hit that big-time basket, the decisions down the stretch for them have been terrific. And then I also think if you're the Celtics, you continue to hunt Luka. Luka has been the key to the series. Will he rise up in a decisive potential Game 4?
Is there an X factor, a player off the bench, someone you're keeping an eye on, and not out of the Big 4?
Not really at this point, Winter. It's come on. You know what I'm saying? It's Luka, and it's Jason and Jaylen. The rest of that, I don't know if you can consider. Yeah, no, Derek White is part of the Big 4. Nah, it's do or die. I'm not thinking about these role players.
There we go. Monica McNutt. I'll catch you coming up on the AutoZone halftime report. Right now it is time for game number 4. Mark Kestisher, PJ Carlissimo, and George Sedano will come your way next. Monica and I have the halftime report coming up next. We tip it off to the Mavericks, keep their season alive and keep these NBA Finals alive. Where does Boston start to celebrate banner number 18? This is Game 4 of the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Temps are heating up, and so are the ticket deals this summer with Vivid Seats. Whether it's scoring tickets for a night out at the ballpark or witnessing the rising stars of women's basketball, Vivid Seats has you covered. With a robust rewards program and wide selection of tickets, Vivid Seats makes it easy to score great deals on great seats with a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you the peace of mind for the ultimate fan experience. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Mike Greenberg. Greeny.
What I'm hearing a lot of people say is they should be grateful. She's bringing all this attention, she's bringing all this additional money, and that all of them will benefit from that. And all that is inarguably true. But there's never been a player who came into any team sport in my lifetime that has had this kind of impact. When Tiger Woods burst onto the scene and suddenly all of the attention was on him, there are to this day people who cover the sport saying, why do they keep showing every shot Tiger takes when he's not in contention? Well, I want to see these leaders. And the obvious answer is the same reason that you would put Caitlin Clark on the Olympic team, because people want to see Tiger Woods whether he's in contention or not. This is a sport with a lot of great golfers and one celebrity. And that's what the WNBA is. The WNBA is a sport filled with great players, many of them, at least at this moment, better than Caitlin Clark. But she's a celebrity.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app. And ESPN Radio Extra Point. With Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
I also think that it's a little bit overblown when we have the conversation around Trevor about him not living up to the expectations. I think the first year with Urban Meyer as his head coach, he didn't really have somebody that was competent at the wheel of the organization, right? And the Jaguars were a really bad franchise. They had the number one pick in back-to-back years. So I think we have to also keep that in mind. Now, in his first year with a real head coach in Doug Peterson, they made the playoffs, won a home playoff game, and they had a 3-point ball game in the fourth quarter on the road in Arrowhead against Patrick Mahomes. Pretty damn good. And I think that when we start talking about the quarterback, specifically in the AFC, the guys that you think are worth the money, can they have me in a competitive situation against the bar, the litmus that is the Kansas City Chiefs? And I think Trevor Lawrence has answered that question.
This is Carlin versus Joe. Chris Carlin, Joe Fortenbaugh.
Kendrick Perkins. Perk, your thoughts on Joe's lock right there?
If Joe like it, I love it.
Yeah. See, that's a smart take right there, Perk. We do the research so that y'all don't have to. It's our gift to the people.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to see. We're going for the over.
Carlin versus Joe. Weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN app, and on SiriusXM Channel 80.
You feel that?
You can't get enough.
That buzz? The undeniable electricity?
The energy, the atmosphere.
Baby, it's the talk of the town.
You gotta love it.
Grabbing headlines and turning heads.
Yay.
The best league in the world welcomes a once-in-a-lifetime draft class. The WNBA. We can't get enough. A championship caliber rematch. New York Liberty at Las Vegas Aces. Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Presented by Google.
You can't get enough.
This weekend on ESPN Radio. One of the fiercest rivalries in sports begins another chapter.
Crushes one over the monster.
The AL East leading New York Yankees storm into Fenway Park to go head-to-head with the Boston Red Sox.
It is a rivalry marinated in history, home runs, and haymakers.
The Yankees at the Red Sox. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern and Sunday at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Cure or prevent any disease.
This is the NBA Finals.
And the final seconds will tick away, and the Celtics have come back down 13 in the first half. They win it to take a 3-0 series lead in the 2024 Finals.
There's been a lot of adversity, been a lot of frustration throughout these first three games, and a lot of adjustments too, and we're finding ways to just come out with the right energy and the right tone-setting atmosphere that we need to just really just win the next few games.
Yeah, we got to build on the fourth quarter. I thought we were desperate. We have to be aggressive, and that's the way we got to play for 4 quarters if we want to beat Boston.
Game 4 is the next opportunity for us to execute and to play, and so the focus just needs to remain on what has gotten us to this point. And we got to be expect to be in tougher situations. We'll be judged by how we handle it.
We talked about this at the beginning of the playoffs. It's really trying to stay in the moment.
Experience is the best teacher. All year long, we've been hearing about the Celtics of the past. All the different shortcomings we've had in the past. It's a new team. You know what I mean? We've learned from those experiences, and in these moments, you can see that, we didn't run from it.
The 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio is presented by Indeed. Hiring this year? Visit Indeed.com/credit. Now from American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, alongside PJ Carlesimo and George Sedano on the sidelines, here's Mark Kestisher.
The Boston Celtics are 48 minutes from their long-awaited banner 18. The Celtics are 48 minutes from finishing only the 10th final sweep in NBA history. And the Celtics are 48 minutes from becoming the first team to complete sweeps in the final 2 rounds of a postseason. Good evening from Dallas, wherever you may be listening in what could be the final day of the NBA season. The Mavericks hoping to extend it a few more days if they can get a win against this Boston juggernaut. The Mavs nearly rallied from down 21 points in the fourth quarter Wednesday night before Luka Doncic fouled out, and the Celtics finished off a 10th straight win. And PJ, while the Celtics are more than just a big two, tonight could be the conclusion of a 7-year partnership between Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the 105th playoff game between them, and a chance to finally climb and reach the mountaintop.
Yeah, those two have done virtually everything but hang that banner. They've also got 5 teammates that were with them back in 22 against the Golden State Warriors, and they've been pointing to this for a long time. Brad Stevens has done an incredible job putting the roster together. Joe Missoula has made one good decision after another. This team is on the verge of completing literally one of the best years in NBA history.
Yeah, 15-2 so far in the postseason after 64 regular season victories. A chance to close it out with an 80th win. But for the Dallas Mavericks, they've got a steep mountain to climb. We know nobody's come back from down 0-3. There have been 9 sweeps in the finals once you're down 0-3. 2 teams lost in 5, 2 in 6, 1 other in 7, but that was back in the early years of the league. What do the Mavericks have to do to have a chance to extend this back to Boston?
Well, the first thing they have to do is that they need to be engaged tonight, as they were the other night. I mean, they were that close to not leveling the series, but 2-1 coming in here tonight. They could have won 2 of the 3 games. They've got to remember that. But the biggest problem for them has been closing the deal. They've put themselves in position twice, relatively late in the game. If it's close, they got to close the deal.
We'll get your keys and the starting lineups in a moment. Let's bring in George Sedano because Celtics may have an addition here tonight. What's the availability of Kristaps Porzingis?
Kesty, you know he's dealing with a left leg injury, a torn medial retinaculum injury. He's available to play tonight, but Joe Missoula says Porzingis is not quite there just yet and will only be used in, quote, very specific instances, Kesty.
Appreciate it, George. And this season, regular and postseason, Boston is 31-5 without Porzingis, 10-1 in the postseason. Before we get the lineups, PJ, let's get your keys here for Game 4.
Dallas has to want to get on the plane to Boston. As simple as that sounds, they have to want to go. If they're not engaged, they're in trouble tonight. They need to score 100 points or more. They haven't scored 100 yet. To do that, they need more threes. They got to limit Boston's threes a little bit, and they got to close the deal. Kesty, we just talked about that. If they're in position late, they have to close the deal. Boston, one thing I learned very quickly when I went to San Antonio, you need 16 wins to win an NBA championship. Boston's only got 15. They need one more win. Threes are always the key for this team. They make their threes, they're going to get that 16th win tonight.
Give you the starting lineups. They're the same as they've been for the first 3 games of these finals. The visiting Boston Celtics have won 10 straight since losing Game 2 of the second-round series with Cleveland. Have Drew Holiday and Derek White in the backcourt. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum up front. Both went for 30-plus in Game 3, and Brown is the leading scorer for Boston in the finals at 24.3. And Al Horford, his 185th postseason game. Only Karl Malone has played more postseason games without a title. That could end tonight for Al Horford. For the Dallas Mavericks, who've lost 3 straight, they did not lose 4 in a row at any point this season. Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic in the backcourt. Kyrie busted out with a 35-point Game 3. Doncic just below 30 points per game in the series. Fouled out for the first time in his playoff career. Fouled out for the 3rd time in his entire pro career. And the other 2 he fouled out in overtime. Up front, Derek Jones Jr. and P.J. Washington. They could use some threes from Jones. 0 for the last 2. He's only 1 for 6 in the finals.
and Daniel Gafford is in the middle. It is a predominantly Mavericks crowd, as you would expect, over 20,000. But, PJ, there are big cheers. There were big cheers for the Celtics pregame. I thought it was in the Garden for a moment before the Mavs fans booed him down.
No, there were tickets available, and a lot of people made the trip from Boston. In case they clinch tonight, they want to be here to celebrate. So there's many more Celtic fans tonight than there were 2 nights ago.
It seems like just yesterday, but it was 18 years ago the Celtics won that 17th banner in Boston. And then before that championship, it was 22 years since they won the 1986 title, a third in 5 years. The Celtics gunning for an 18th championship, would break a tie with the Lakers for the most all time. Mavericks trying to avoid the sweep and send us to Boston for a Game 5 on Monday night. Scott Foster is our lead official. David Guthrie and James Williams with him. Celtics still in the white unis for the third time of these 4 games with green across the chest. Celtics and the Mavericks in their navy uniforms, Dallas in white across.
Scott Foster, 25th finals game. Really incredible. 17th finals he's worked, but the 25th finals game.
Celtics fans may remember he officiated Game 7 of that 2010 NBA Finals. Here we go. Ball's about to go skyward for Game 4. Horford and Gafford in the center circle. Ball's away. Tap controlled by Horford. And Game 4 of the NBA Finals underway with the Celtics going from right to left as we watch it here courtside in Dallas. They go to Tatum on the left. Drives by a Horford pick. Looks for Al. Finds him right back to Tatum. Shot clock at 10. Out beyond the arc. Dribbles left against Gafford. Crosses over. Drives into a double. Spins in the lane. Well covered. Now fades. Fires. Missed it. Rebounded by Luka.
Good defense by Gafford. Good help by Luka Doncic.
Well, we'll see if Dallas can get off to another good start. That has not been the issue for these Mavericks in the finals. Washington against Tatum, very aggressively into the lane. Off balance, lefty shot, no good, and rebounded by Horford. Up ahead to Brown.
Got away with a travel, I thought.
And Luka nearly cut off Brown in a foul that was reminiscent of the foul out, 6th foul the other day. Boston works it around the horn. White missing a 3 from the left.
That's been the Celtic MO lately. Start out cold and get hot late.
Kyrie Irving drives, finds a seam to the rim and lays it up and in. 4-0 Dallas. Or 2-0 Dallas. First basket of the game. Here's White from the left. Minute 10 into the contest. Brown for 3. Missed it from the right. Rebounded by Luka. So far, settling for 3-point shots early, Boston. Here's Luka driving down the lane. Luka puts it up, puts it in, and it is 4-0 in favor of the Mavericks.
Kyrie and Luka taking it to the paint where they've really made a living in this series against Boston.
90 seconds in, Celtics looking for their first make. They're 0 for 3. Tatum sends it into the right corner. Derek White drives through the lane right to left. Finds the cutter. Brown drives, layup off the window and in for the first 2 for Boston.
Jaylen Brown has repeatedly been the guy that ends the drought, or when they need a bucket is the one who stepped up.
Oh, and an unforced error by Dallas. Gafford tossing it to the left wing and out of bounds across the end line. Turnover Mavericks. 4-2 the score. Dallas leads. Celtics in possession. 2 minutes in. Tatum gets a good look at a 3, and he cans it, his first triple, giving the Celtics the lead.
JT's still under 30% for the playoffs, but you know he's capable of being on fire from downtown.
5-4 Boston. Derek Lively going to check in early again. Next dead ball. Here's P.J. Washington from the left. Drives against Boston. Lost the handle, and it's in the arms of Horford. Turnover. Drew Holiday defending that time. Holiday has it on the drive in the lane. Slings it to the corner. Tatum. Baseline drive from the left. Slings it up. No good. Whistle. And a foul against Dallas.
Unselfish play by Drew Holiday, but he had a layup. He was right at the rim. Threw it to Jason Tatum in the left corner.
And it was a tough toss out there.
Yeah, it was a tough catch, but all's well that ends well. Jason Tatum on the free throw line.
Jason Tatum playing his 112th postseason game. Averaged north of 30 points in the conference finals. He's at 21.7. After a slow start in the finals, finally got over 30 in Game 3, and the first free throw goes. And as we mentioned, Derek Lively coming into the game just 2.5 minutes in for Daniel Gafford. Lively had a tremendous line, the rookie from Duke, in Game 3 with 13 rebounds.
Daniel Gafford doesn't look very happy, but that turnover, I think, made Jason Kidd's decision early. JT makes the second one. Derek Lively coming off an excellent game. He only double-doubled in game 3.
7 straight Boston points and a 7-4 lead, 9:20 and counting first quarter. Luka works from the top, switching defense. Horford has him. Luka thought about going right, cuts to the left into the high post, fading one-legger is good, and Luka's on the board with a jumper. He is 2 for 2 to open game 4. Boston a 1-point lead. Horford with it, left wing to Brown, quickly made the catch, and as he looked to turn, we got an offensive foul on Brown. Got a piece of Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, he tried to hook him. You know, usually it's down around the waist, but his hand was up very high, and he raked Kyrie right across the head.
First foul on Brown. Irving will pass it ahead of the timeline for the Mavericks, who will look to retake the lead. We just dipped under 9 minutes to go. First quarter in game 4. Luka waiting for a high screen, gets it. Now he's got Horford defending. He'll back up for 3 this time, missed it. Long rebound, Washington couldn't get it. Fighting for it with White. Derek comes up with it for Boston.
Really good pressure by Al Horford on that shot.
Tatum, nice bounce to Brown, who gets deep and puts it up and in. 9-6 Celtics. Luka quickly into the front court. Drives deep. Layup, yes. Beat Derek White that time. And Drew Holiday. Luka off to a 3 for 4 start. He's got 6.
Taking the ball to the basket, too. Both he and Kyrie Irving.
Tatum on a switching defense. Now has Luka Doncic defending. This has been an issue for Dallas. Takes him off the three-point line. Inside the arc. Now dribbling back beyond it. Now he'll pull for a deep 3. Missed it. And rebounded by Jones.
Good job by Luka defensively, but it's the first time I've seen him limp coming up the court.
He's dealing with the knee and the ankle and the chest contusion as well. Here's Jones into the lane. Tough layup. No, well defended by Brown. Never touched the rim. Jaylen Brown brings it into the front court. Sends a pass toward the corner. Was it tipped by a Maverick?
Luka deflected.
It was out of bounds. It'll stay with Boston.
Luka's giving James Williams a thumb up. Yeah, you saw that. Good call.
Being nice to the officials tonight.
Yeah.
4 of his 6 fouls in the fourth quarter in game 3. This will be a deep entry from the deep right corner. It comes into Jaylen Brown. 15 to shoot, 7:45 to go in the first. Brown, a deep 3. Wow. No good. Rebound Lively.
1 for 5 for the Celtics from downtown.
And at least 2 of them been well beyond the three-point arc.
Yeah, again, they're not moving the ball real quickly.
Luka Wheels fires a 3, misses from the right, rebounded by Derek White. 9-8 Boston. Here's White front court, bounces off of Doncic, gives it up to Tatum between the rings. 1 dribble and a send to Holiday on the right. Darts beyond the arc, gives to Tatum, tries a backdoor cut, couldn't control, but Downey's able to send it out to White, who launches a 3 off the front rim, and rebounded by Luka.
6 of the 9 Celtic field goal attempts are 3s.
Here's Irving going deep, got blocked on his way to the cup. Loose ball, Lively had it, and he gets fouled at 7:02 to go here in the first quarter.
I think that was Jason Tatum with the block. It looked like a good play. Actually, Kyrie went by him, and then someone came from the backside and blocked it. JT is the man listed on the play-by-play.
Tatum got the block. No shooting foul here, so it'll be side in for Dallas. Jason Kidd is arguing that he gathered, but David Guthrie, the official, says no dice. Inbound to Lively, under 7 minutes to go in the first. They get it to Kyrie on the right. Irving dribbling against White, left-hand dribble to the free throw line, into the lane, slings it with the left hand off the window and in, and the Mavericks take the lead.
Tough contested shot.
10-9, Irving's got 4 on the deck, trying to go a little too fast. Jaylen Brown ends up knocked down, and Luka Doncic will pick up his first personal foul. Some of the boos you're hearing, assumingly on the call. At 6:44 to go here in the first quarter. Teams both trying to settle into game 4.
Yeah, for sure. I like Dallas because they're attacking the rim more. No surprise, Boston's firing their 3s, but so far that hasn't been good. They're 1 for 6.
Well, the stars have shown up. Doncic and Irving have all 10 for Dallas. Brown and Tatum have all 9 for Boston. 6:44 to go first quarter. You're listening to the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Well, here we are again, and I got to tell you, Jim, this match has me really concerned.
Here we have a powerful heavyweight, a train, weighing in at 6,000 tons. And this hasty lightweight challenger, a car, at just 1.5 tons?
This does not bode well for the car, or the people in it.
It's
It's no contest. Every day, people are injured or killed trying to beat a train at rail crossings. See tracks, think train.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada?
Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/play and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/play.
Elevate every morning with Tommy John's Second Skin underwear. What you put in your pants can make or break your day. The luxurious support of Second Skin guarantees everything will go smoothly. When you wear Tommy John, you're much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John's Silky Second Skin underwear has dozens of comfort innovations, like a supportive contour pouch and breathable, lightweight, moisture-wicking fabric with 4 times the stretch of competing brands. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, guys love Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers. They have fanatics. Plus, your most valuable assets are covered with Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear or its free guarantee. Get 20% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. Save 20% on Second Skin at TommyJohn.com/stream. TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
Only on Hulu.
I'm Kevin Winter, Insider Granger Studio. Game 4 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio. Don't forget to log on to our social media accounts to vote in the AutoZone In the Zone poll question. Who's getting in the zone for tonight's Game 4? Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving. In the Zone brought to you by AutoZone. Get deals for dad through the 16th with AutoZone's Father's Day sale. Save on brakes, wash, wax, and more. Now through the 16th. Get in the zone. AutoZone. $10, $9 by one. Marquez Fisher, PJ Calissimo, George Sedano. Back to you in Dallas.
All right, Kev, and George Sedano was hanging out behind the Celtics huddle. What'd you hear?
Yeah, Cassidy, Joe Missoula happy with their spacing, likes their shot selection. They're just not going down, tells them to be patient. And, of course, on defense, he's telling them to play the angles. Be careful with the angles because they're getting to the rim pretty easy.
Appreciate it. And, PJ, Boston has taken advantage of a couple of early Dallas turnovers.
Yeah, 2 turnovers by Dallas has led to 5 Celtic points already, so we'll keep our eye on that. Points in the paint, Mavericks with 10. They're 5 for 8. 8 of their 10 shots are in the paint. That's why they're off to such a good start. 3 different Celtics have attempted 2 threes already. Jason Tatum's the only one that's made one.
Here's Tatum, and he lays it in on a nice feed from Xavier Tillman, who came in during that timeout for Al Horford and gave Joe Missoula some really good minutes in game 3.
Good execution out of the timeout. Players are listening almost as well as George Sedano is listening for us.
He's right in the middle of that huddle. Joe Missoula noticed him the other day. 11-10 Boston. Here's Luka on the cross to the right into the lane. Out to Lively. The big man's going to shoot a 3, and he's going to bury it. It's only the 3rd of his rookie season, but he does have range.
First one in this series. He's coming off a 11-point, 13-rebound double-double.
Here's an inside pass to Tillman, deflected by Lively, paying dividends
if he
early.
didn't get the block, at least it was an alter.
Washington thought about the corner 3, was covered, gives to Irving, lifts for Lively at the rim, and he jams it home. And the 7-1 rookie first-rounder from Duke paying dividends off the bench.
Kyrie Irving knew Lively was by himself. He couldn't wait to get the ball and throw that lob pass.
15-11, Lively got knocked down by Tillman, no call. And then Tillman gets hammered on his way to the basket, scores an and one.
Xavier Tillman, really good job on Wednesday night in not big minutes, but he made the only field goal he attempted, a 3 from the right corner that was big. He got 4 rebounds and 2 blocks. Really productive 11 minutes by Xavier Tillman on Wednesday.
Fouls on Washington is second. Before Tillman shoots the free throw, I want to amend Derek Lively. That was his first 3 of his professional career. He had 2 at Duke last year. He was 2 for 13. So the 3rd he's made since high school. First as an NBA player. But we see him practice them all the time. He's got range as Tillman completes the 3-point play.
Everybody practices them.
Everybody.
Making him in the game is something else. How about Xavier Tillman? What a good job he's doing.
15-14. Mavericks lead cut to 1 on the 3-point Tillman play. And Tillman nearly knocked it away from Luka. Takes him into the lane. A one-legger is good right from the dotted line.
2 more paint points again relentlessly attacking the paint, the Dallas Mavericks.
8 for Luka, 3-point lead Dallas. Brown penetrates against Maxi Kleber, shot up, in and out. Lively has the rebound.
Really good look. JB's usually going to make that shot.
Here's Derrick Jones Jr. Wraparound, up and under, hangs and puts it in. Derrick Jones Jr., what an athletic move.
Pesty, the Mavs have 16 paint points already out of their 19.
And it's a 5-point lead, the biggest lead for Dallas, 19-14. Brown penetrates the lane, sends it outside to Tatum. Tatum behind the Tillman screen. Tatum guarded by Lively. Darts back beyond the arc, 5 to shoot. Goes to his left. Lively staying right in front of him. Over to Holiday with 2. Drew drives, floater up, short. Rebound tip. Josh Green has it for Dallas. 2-on-2, but Green's going to peel out and wait for his mates. Sends it over to Jones, cross court. His 3 is on its way. It's not good. Lively taps it out to Kleber, and a fresh 14-second shot clock.
Derek Lively really active tonight.
Luka guarded by Drew Holiday out near half court. Now picked off by Lively, so Tillman's got him. Steps back, got the contact. Yes, he offered the shot, says Scott Foster, and that'll be 3 free throws for Luka Doncic with 4:11 to go here in the first.
There's a generous interpretation. Luka, to me, jumped into Tillman.
I agree.
Tillman didn't violate his space at all, and Luka came forward, but he got the benefit of the call.
First on Xavier Tillman, Luka Doncic, who has 8 first-quarter points. The starts we mentioned for Dallas have not been the issue, and the same can be said for Doncic, who only has 8 fourth-quarter points in the entire series.
He's been fatigued. They're not using that as an excuse, but there's no question he's been exhausted by the time the fourth quarter rolls around.
And you saw him hobbling a little bit a few minutes ago. Apparently after landing, he's got 3 free throws. One's up, second one in. He's got 1 more to come, and that's big because he's missed 7 free throws in this series.
Unbelievable. 10 for 17, 59% coming in. You've got a Joe Missoula timeout.
In between the second and third free throws. So 1 more for Luka to come. And the Celtics take a timeout as the Mavericks have opened up a 7-point lead, their largest.
Well, I got to think they're going to talk about points in the paint because they're doubled up already. 16-8 paint points in favor of Dallas.
On the big scoreboard, Dallas 21, Boston 14, 4:11 left first quarter in Game 4. This is the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app presented by Indeed.
Temps are heating up, and so are the ticket deals this summer with Vivid Seats. Whether it's scoring tickets for a night out at the ballpark or witnessing the rising stars of women's basketball, Vivid Seats has you covered. With a robust rewards program and wide selection of tickets, Vivid Seats makes it easy to score great deals on great seats with a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you the peace of mind for the ultimate fan experience. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
This is Freddie and Harry.
Big Mike in Texas, what you got, my friend?
Oh, my God. You know, I'll wait on the phone forever until the show is over, you know?
We appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Freddie, man, I'm going to tell you, I work nights, midnight as a delivery manager, and I listen to you for years up all night, man. And I appreciate it. And I want to tell you, man, yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't have worked there that long if you hadn't been on the radio.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Micah Parsons shouldn't step foot on a football field this fall without a new deal. Micah Parsons is the best player on the damn team, and he's scheduled to make $2.9 million this year. How does that make any sense? Micah Parsons needs to take a page out of the Ezekiel Elliott playbook and demand that the Dallas Cowboys pay him his money right now.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. The Baseball Tonight podcast.
Let's start with Bobby Witt Jr., who's one of the early candidates for the American League MVP. It feels like such a turning point for the Royals.
The Baseball Tonight podcast is on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
I'm Kevin Winter. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Game 4 of the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app presented by Indeed. The Mavs continuing to attack the Celtics inside the arc. Dallas 8 of 11 from inside the three-point line. They lead by 7. Back to Dallas with George Sedano and PJ Calissimo. Here's Mark Kestisher.
Attacking the paint, Kevin, and George Sedano owning the glass early.
Yeah, Al Horford in the Celtics huddle telling his guys they got to match up better and make sure they get those rebounds when they match up, Kesty.
11 rebounds, PJ, to 4. 4 of those 11 from Derek Lively off the bench.
He's been great, 5 points and 4 boards, but the rebound numbers are misleading. Celtics have missed 9 shots, so the other team's going to have more defensive rebounds. I'm sure Joe Mazzulla's upset with those 2 offensive rebounds, and it's led to 4 second-chance points for the Mavs. So I'm sure it's the lack of defensive rebounding that he's upset with.
Third free throw missed out of the timeout by Doncic. So the run by Dallas is 11-3 right now, and it's a 7-point Maverick lead as we cross 4 minutes to go, opening quarter. Drew Holiday has Tatum up top. Sam Hauser in the game. Makes the catch, turns, wheels for 3, missed it. Long rebound in the corner, chased down by Kyrie Irving.
Football score, Cass.
Cowboys lead the Patriots, 21-14.
Yep.
Here in Big D. As Kyrie Irving works for the Mavs out on the right. Has the matchup he wants against Tillman into the lane. Fading, 10-footer is good. And the run continues, 13-3 in favor of Dallas. They lead by 9.
This is a paint clinic so far.
Jaylen Brown thought about a medium-range jumper. Sends it outside. It's poked away. Luka took it away from Drew Holiday. Luka against Holiday down near the baseline right, trying to back his way into the mid-post. Turns, gets by him, and scores. Luka with a dozen and a 15-3 run for the Mavs. And a pass to the wing, out of bounds. Cross court for Jaylen Brown. Taps his chest to say, my bad. Turnover Boston.
Yeah, he just didn't catch it. It went right through his hands. Luka with a beautiful spin move. They're showing us the replay. He had Drew Holiday on his back. He kind of faked over his right shoulder and spun baseline for the easy finish.
Doncic has 12. He and Kyrie have 18 of Dallas's 25 points. 25-14 Mavericks. 3 minutes to go here in the first. Doncic working to the right, stops, has room, hesitates, takes the shot, missed it. Josh Green batting it near the rim, then picked up by Lively on the offensive board. His putback's no good, but it goes out of bounds against Boston.
There's what George Sedano was talking about, Joe Mazzulla was talking about. Lack of defensive rebounding, another opportunity for the Mavs.
Horford was reaching in there and knocked that ball out. On the inbound baseline right, they clear it out for Irving against Derek White. Tries to blow by him, does, layup around, falls off the side of the rim, no good.
Spun all the way around. They got numbers. Kyrie just getting back.
11-point deficit, Boston, 2:40 to go here in the first. Pass to Brown, baseline left, Josh Green, good defender, checking him. Takes him down into the lane, slings it to the right corner. Now Tatum's got it on the right angle, drives against the rookie Lively, and gets by him and scores it. Put up those arms, but somehow Jason able to thread it through.
Yeah, JT's looking for a foul. I think Lively thought he was going to go underneath the basket, and he went straight up.
25-16 Dallas. Luka fouled as he got into the lane, tried to fade away on the shot, was a little bit off balance as he got knocked off his base, and a foul against Horford.
As we've reminded our listeners repeatedly, Kesty, Boston commits the least fouls in the NBA. One of the things they do not like to do is foul shooters. Second time they've put Doncic on the line.
Luka was 2 for 3 his first time at the line. He's got 12 working. Oh, way short on that one. Barely got to the front rim.
Boston allows the fewest free throw attempts and the fewest free throw makes in the NBA. Not tonight so far.
P.J. Washington and Derek Lively should get a better hand than what he's getting right now. He came in and 5 points, 5 rebounds.
They've gone small. Maxi Kleber's the biggest guy on the floor for them. They did not come back with Gafford.
Kleber, 6'10". Wonder if Gafford might be a little bit in Jason Kidd's doghouse at the moment.
That would be my assessment from here. Maybe there's an injury that we're not seeing.
Doncic put a little more lift on that shot and got it to go, rattled it home. It's almost like he had to muscle a little more because he doesn't have much lift.
Oh, you need your legs for sure. They're such a big part of the shot, even on a free throw.
2:10 to go, first quarter, 10-point Dallas lead, 26-16.
Al Horford holding on the left angle against Doncic. Passes left corner, Hauser. Hauser against Kleba. Stops, goes to Horford, 8 to shoot. Up top, Tatum. 2 minutes to go. Here's Tatum driving into the lane against the smaller Washington. Puts it up, got it to go. He wanted a foul, too, didn't get it.
So Joe Missoula, Joe's talking to James Williams as he runs up the floor.
The lead is down to 8 for Dallas. Doncic spinning against Tatum, who reaches in and gets called for the foul. Luka tried to cross him over a little bit, and then Tatum reached when he went by him and got the foul on Jason Tatum. That'll be number 1 on the 7th-year man from Duke, and of course hails from St. Louis, Missouri. Went to the same middle school as Keith Kachuk's son, Matthew, who's playing for the Florida Panthers. 2 guys that went to middle school together are both up 3-0 in different championship series.
Unbelievable. JT's upset with the officiating so far.
Oh, Dallas just tossed it away off the inbound. Nearly live ball turnovers. Washington tried to pass it over the top. Kleba never saw it coming, and it was a lot closer to our man Jimmy Goldstein.
Jason Tatum broke. He was wide open. He was hoping that Sam Hauser was going to stop it before it went out of bounds.
Jimmy, of course, the NBA super fan. See him at every game in the playoffs, virtually. All right, Boston has it, trying to make the comeback. Drew Holiday on the drive, scoops to the left, didn't get it. Green has it. 8-point Dallas lead, 90 seconds to go in the first. Kyrie pulls for 3, missed it. Flying in, grabbing and flushing, Josh Green.
That's the 4th offensive rebound and 6 points off those rebounds so far for Dallas.
Lead is back to 10 for Boston, 1:13 to go in the first. Tatum outside the arc against Kyrie. Spins, gets down to the baseline, lost the handle, got it back. He's pinned on the baseline. Pass nearly stolen, it's loose. Sliding Sam Hauser with 3 to shoot. Still on his feet, it's a tied possession. And we'll have a jump ball with 2.7 on the shot clock.
If the Celtics control the tip, they're going to have to shoot it very quickly. Don't know if Sam Hauser's going to get this tip against Josh Green.
Sam Hauser, 6'7". Josh Green is 2 inches smaller, but has a little more vertical than Mr. Hauser.
He's got some hop.
As we saw on that offensive foul flying slam dunk. Here we go. Foul line to our left. Green against Hauser. Waiting for Scott Foster to toss the ball up in the air. Dribbles it once, now twice, and here we go. It's up, it is tapped. Green taps it twice. It's corralled by White, puts up a 3 and hits. Desperation late in the clock. Derek White knew it, and he drained the triple.
Josh Green didn't really look where he was tapping the ball. He just jumped back up and tapped it right to Derek White.
Boston back within 7. 28-21 Dallas. 45 seconds to go in the first. Kyrie from the right answers with a 3. Calmly, assuredly knocking down the triple.
Mavs are 2 for 6. Celtics 2 for 8.
Brown on the bounce, got by Green, missed the shot, thought he got fouled. Now it's a 5-on-4 Dallas. Brown late to get back. Washington for 3. All net for P.J. Washington, and it's a 13-point lead for Dallas. Little deja vu here in Game 4.
And secured the 2-for-1 situation for the Mavs.
23 seconds to go in the first, about 5 seconds difference. And a whistle. We have a foul call here?
Yeah, no, you got a little dust up between Derek Jones Jr. and Jason Tatum.
Okay.
Excuse me. No, Jason Tatum was the original.
Jaylen Brown right now got hit in the face. Remember that last trip down, and he was late getting back as well, so he was already perturbed. And you're right, Jason Tatum was that time involved there, so the foul was on Jones. That'll be his first. First in the last 2 minutes. Boston inbounds with 20 seconds to go in the quarter. Inbound to Drew Holiday. Celtics down 13 as they were in Game 3.
He's going to go against Derek Jones Jr. They switched.
Tatum against Kleba. Pulls. He's beyond the arc. Now he rises for 3. Missed it. High rebound. Tipped away, and Jaylen Brown last to touch it. It goes out of bounds to Dallas with 3 seconds left in the quarter.
Scraped a couple seconds off what could have been their last possession. J. Kidd's getting Luka Doncic in right now, so look for a long pass or look to get Luka the ball somewhere near half court. He loves to launch those long shots.
Kyrie will inbound about 3/4 court, left sideline. Looking down floor. Fires it into PJ, gets it right back to Kyrie.
Backcourt.
Oh.
Sorry, I stepped out of bounds.
That's right.
I thought it was either one. He threw the ball back to Kyrie too quickly. It's going to be interesting if they put more time on the clock.
A lot of defensive subs here in the meantime for Dallas. Lively and Jones coming in.
And guess who?
Luka's out, Kyrie's out, and Peyton Pritchard, the man who hits last-second threes. But did he send himself in? Because he said he checked himself in at the end of the third quarter in Game 2 in Boston.
I think he has license to do that.
1.9 seconds to go in the first. He said, I just look at Joe Missoula, and he said, yep, go. Here we go from half court, far right sideline. Inbounds to Pritchard. And he steps on the sideline on the catch. Back-to-back turnovers. This is the longest last 5 seconds and substitution patterns we've seen here in an NBA game. Back comes Donic, back comes Luka.
Yeah, not real good execution by either team on the side out of bounds situation. Dallas still with a chance. 1 second. That's enough time to catch it and shoot it.
Three-quarter court inbound, Kleba looking. Sends it overhead to Kyrie, lands with the ball, then tried to get a power dribble, but the clock ran out. And that is the end of the first quarter. Boston hasn't trailed by double figures at the end of one quarter this entire postseason. Their largest deficit was 6. PJ, they're down 13 here at the end of the first quarter.
I got to think that's the most points the Mavs got in any quarter in this finals also. I don't see any there aren't too many 30s.
For a team that hasn't scored 100 points yet.
34 is a big number, and look who's at half court. Don't know whether he's hanging out or about to report in.
Stay with us. We'll let you know. After one, Dallas 34, Boston 21. This is the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Well, here we are again, and I got to tell you, Jim, this match has me really concerned.
Here we have a powerful heavyweight, a train, weighing in at 6,000 tons. And this hasty lightweight challenger, a car, at just 1.5 tons.
This does not bode well for the car or the people in it.
It's no contest. Every day, people are injured or killed trying to beat a train at rail crossings. See tracks, think train.
Elevate every morning with Tommy John's Second Skin underwear. What you put in your pants can make or break your day. The luxurious support of Second Skin guarantees everything will go smoothly. When you wear Tommy John, you're much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John's silky Second Skin underwear has dozens of comfort innovations, like a supportive contour pouch and breathable, lightweight, moisture-wicking fabric with 4 times the stretch of competing brands. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, guys love Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers. They have fanatics. Plus, your most valuable assets are covered with Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear or its free guarantee. Get 20% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. Save 20% on Second Skin at TommyJohn.com/stream. TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
Hey, just the socks. Thanks.
Great. Name, birthday, email address, shipping address, billing address. How many fire hydrants do you see? How'd you hear about us? Can we text you?
Forget it.
If your online store doesn't use Shopify for checkout, your customers will just, check out. Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other leading e-commerce platforms. That means fewer abandoned carts and more for your business. So switch to Shopify at shopify.com/play and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/play.
Cure or prevent any disease.
Kevin Richard with you inside our Granger studio. The Mavericks with a 34-21 lead over the Celtics at the end of the opening quarter in Game 4 here on ESPN Radio. Mark Kestecher, PJ Carlissimo, George Sedano take the 34 here, the 29 back in the fourth quarter of Game 3. That's 63 points for the Mavericks the last 2 quarters. Drop the second with you guys in Big D.
Appreciate it, Kev. And George Sedano's been camped behind that Celtics huddle. What are you hearing?
Yeah, Kesty, Jaylen Brown was telling his guys, they're not going to give us bleep. We got to walk them down, and we got to get to the free throw line. We got to take it from them.
PJ, rebounds and offensive rebounds also key for Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, that's the story. It's 4-0 offensive rebounds in favor of the Mavs, and it's not just the extra opportunities they've converted. They've got 6 points off that. Dallas, obviously, with no offensive rebounds, has no second chance points. But what they're doing from the paint, 22 points, Kesty, ties the record last 25 years in any quarter in the NBA Finals.
Dante Exum is on the floor with Luka Doncic to open quarter two. Doncic backing down, very strong against Brown. Turn, shot falls short off the front rim. Tatum's got the board. Ahead to Derek White, back to Tatum, three-point line, makes a run past Lively, runs into Green, just took it away. Swiped it right away from Tatum.
It was the help man. JT tried to go by his man, and he just walked right into Josh Green. He just ripped the ball out of his hands.
Plus 13 is Dallas with Doncic creeping against Tillman. Gets by him all the way down the lane. Passes out to Washington for a right-angle three. No. Offensive board again. Lively. It was a long rebound.
Yeah, that was a tough one. There really wasn't anything you could do.
9 to shoot on the reset. 11 minutes to go in the half. Exum with it, drives on Pritchard, goes down, floats it up and in, and the Mavericks have their largest lead for them in the finals, up 15.
And they have 9 bench points, 9-3 in favor of the Dallas bench.
36-21 Dallas, biggest lead of the series right now. Here's Tatum across the baseline. They go to Brown, no look into the corner, White. White one dribble, finds Tatum right into Doncic, who muscled up, affected the shot, it's no good. A rebound Dallas.
An offensive rebound, last possession by Lively, is his 4th tonight.
Been huge off the bench, and Doncic feeds the rolling Lively, got too deep, goes out to Exum in the corner, and he buries the three! Dante Exum with the triple. They'll look at it at review during the timeout. Scott Foster was circling his fingers to make sure he was beyond the arc, but right now it's an 18-point game.
And 12 bench points for the Dallas Mavs. Everybody contributing. Derek Lively, Josh Green, and now Dante Exum.
10:27 to go, first half. Mavericks enjoying their largest lead of the finals here in Game 4. 39-21 over Boston. And you're listening to the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app presented by Indeed.
I'm David Dennis Jr., hosting ESPN Daily this week. Every weekday morning, we bring you the best sports story you'll hear all day. Today, on ESPN Daily, as the Yankees and Red Sox get set to meet for the first time this season, Jeff Passan explains what the rivalry means in 2024 and tells us why things have been quiet at Fenway Park. That's ESPN Daily. Follow us and listen wherever you get good podcasts.
Hey, y'all, this is Marty Smith.
And I'm Ryan McGee. And we are
Marty and McGee. Check us out every Saturday morning on ESPN Radio and the SEC Network.
Of course, we'll be all over the biggest news in the world of sports.
And plenty of that Marty and McGee type stuff.
Like the Hillbilly Headlines.
And some of the craziest callers you've ever heard in your life.
It might be the only reason to wake up that early on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, for sure. It's Marty and McGee.
From 7 to 10 Eastern.
On ESPN Radio and the SEC Network.
The Dominique Foxworth Show.
What does it tell you that Joe Burrow, in the prime of his career, the window's open as long as I'm here, is thinking about his football mortality?
I mean, it's a shocking quote to start with, obviously. Quarterbacks are really well media trained, and they understand that everything they say becomes a story. Like, at this point in his career, saying that he considered his football mortality is kind of a scary thing to put on the table.
Check out the Dominique Foxworth Show anywhere you get your podcast.
The United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and the largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. The USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal agencies with free safety equipment donations and officer survival training, along with cash donations to families of law enforcement officers who perish in the line of duty, college scholarships for the children of law enforcement, a citizen awareness program, and more. For more information on the USDSA and how you can help, visit usdeputy.org.
Kevin Richard with you inside our Granger studio with Game 4 here in the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio. Sometimes sports is simple. How desperate are you? Right now, the more desperate team is playing like it. The Mavericks lead the Celtics 39-21. They're in the midst of an 11-0 run, which is actually inside of a 24-7 run. And those points from Boston were by Xavier Tillman on an and one. Mark Chester, PJ Carlissimo, George Sedano, back to you.
And Kev, the guy sitting next to me, PJ, I think one of his keys was threes. They averaged just over 7 in the first 3 games. They've got 4 in the first 13 minutes.
They need threes, and they need to limit Boston's threes. So far, they're doing that. Dallas is 4 for 9 from downtown. They've held Boston to 2 for 9. Jaylen Brown having a little trouble getting on track. He's 2 for 6, 0 for 2 from 3. He's got a turnover. Drew Holiday has yet to score. He's 0 for 2. So some of the big guns for Boston who have been carrying them off to a rough start.
We were waiting on a 2 versus 3. I don't know if we're still waiting on that. Usually back in Secaucus, they would have that answer in the 3-minute break. Tony Brothers, who was our Game 2 official, is back in Secaucus. Well, let's see. They took a full 3 off the board. The score right now reads 36-21. Did he step out of bounds? Did Exum's left heel touch the sideline? Did it happen to Max Strus?
Close, but it looks like it.
Of the Miami Heat a number of postseasons ago. Yeah, they're going to rule. They're going to rule that the three-pointer is no good. The left heel caught the sideline.
Me amend that 4 for 9 from 3.
Yeah. Well, it was ruled good, and into the break, it was taken off. So 3 points less for Dallas out of the break. It's a 15-point Maverick lead. Boston has it. We're early in the second quarter, 10:20 to go.
And Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving have significant help from the others.
Here's Brown, Jaylen Brown, making a run at the three-point line. Luka picks him up, pass to Pritchard, left angle 3 on its way. It's around and just falls out, but Tillman's there, offensive board, and he's fouled on the floor by Dallas. That has been the unfortunate luck for Peyton Pritchard, who's now 1 for 10 from the three-point line in the finals. The only make was that 39-footer.
Yeah, and he's coming off a game where he really struggled. 0 for 4 in Game 3 and 0 for 2 from downtown.
P.J. Washington's got a little trouble here. He's got 3 fouls, and so Jason Kidd will make a late sub. Maxi Kleba in. P.J. Washington heads to the Dallas bench. 10 minutes to go in the half already with 3 fouls.
Has Daniel Gafford not been
he hasn't come back
in since the original 2 minutes?
Yeah. They've pretty much gone with either Kleba and Lively. Off the inbound, Brown, hesitation move against Lively. Slides the feet nicely on the baseline. Pass to Pritchard, into the lane. He's open, dotted line jumper. Too strong, and Lively grabs another rebound.
Struggles continue for Peyton Pritchard.
7 rebounds off the bench for Derek Lively. That's why Gafford's not in. Here's a pass over the top. Too far for Lively. Turnover. Down the other end to our left. White to Brown. Jaylen takes 2 big steps in the lane. Got the whistle. The jumper was just about to fall short, and the fans aren't happy because that's when David Guthrie blew the whistle on Dante Exum, who picks up his first.
Jay Kidd's not even looking towards his assistants. They got a 15-point lead, and they haven't had real good luck with their challenges.
They got burned on an early one in Game 2.
I think they're going to wait for a better time.
Well, remember in Game 3 the other night, they had that challenge, first free throw badly missed by Brown, that they used for Luka Doncic to see if it would be overturned. It was not, but at least he had the challenge to do so. As Jason Tatum will head to the bench, Drew Holiday will check in for Boston.
Jaylen Brown had been making his free throws in this series. He's 14 for 20, but overall for the playoffs, he's only 65%. Obviously very subpar for an excellent player.
7 misses in 21 finals attempts, but he splits here. 36-22, Boston trailing by 14. 9.5 to go, and Brown a near steal at half court on the exchange from Washington to Doncic. We're in the second quarter in Dallas. Doncic at the three-point line dribbling, crossing against Tillman to the left. Tillman sliding the feet nicely, passes out to Exum, gets a good look for 3 on its way, and down. Exum was huge during the regular season.
He was nowhere near the sideline that time, so they're not taking that one off the board.
Dante Exum finally gets the triple, 39-22 Dallas. Brown left corner beyond the arc. Lively backs up, and Brown will take the 3 and make it. I don't think Lively will do that again.
3 for 11. You know eventually the Celtics, they're going to start making their threes.
39-25, Dallas plus 14. Doncic against Tillman will drive him down to the baseline at the restricted area. Falls, shot no good. Pritchard the rebound. You know Doncic wanted the call. He's slow getting up because he's frustrated.
Tillman did a good job defensively.
Pass to Pritchard, steps into a 3, another miss, and Exum rebounds. Dante Exum was 49% from 3 in the regular year. Has it out on the left, will give it up to Irving with 8.5 to go. First half here in Dallas. Kyrie Irving dribbling. Derek White backs off at the three-point line. Pass to Kleba, grabbed from behind by Pritchard. And David Guthrie blows his whistle early before the catch. Foul on Peyton will be his first.
Luka's talking to James Williams, but I like the way he's talking to him. Just walked over. He's not screaming. He's not gesturing with his hands. Now he's talking to Scott Foster. The message is there, but he's delivering it in a much better fashion. But you don't want to embarrass the referees.
Derek Lively out. So here's Daniel Gafford back in for the first time since the first 2 minutes. Exum has it from the left, drives across the free throw line, darts across the top of the arc with 5 to shoot. Now crossing to his right against White, gets to the dotted line, pass to Irving, half a second on the shot clock, lets fly from 3, missed it. Gafford with one hand got the offensive board, and as he tried to go up, he got fouled.
Yeah, Peyton Pritchard was trying to box him out, but that's a really tough matchup. And we saw in the previous play when they threw the ball in, he just grabbed him. They tried to post up. I think Joe Missoula is going to go to a bigger lineup.
And I think they're going to go with the man who was behind him, Derek White, on the foul. You're right. Pritchard was behind him. And then I thought Pritchard fouled him, and then White fouled him.
He didn't blow the whistle on the first play. He waited until Gafford shot it, so he's at the line. That might not be. There we go.
2 is good for Daniel Gafford. The lead is 40-25 Dallas. Sam Hauser, Jason Tatum back into the Boston lineup.
Gafford was 3 for 6 in the finals. Now he's 4 for 7.
And we should point out Kristaps Porzingis has not entered the lineup yet.
He wandered down to the scorer's table and was visiting with the officials, but never took his warm-up off.
8:04 to go in the half. Gafford second, missed it back iron, and Hauser, good job containing the free throw line, came up with the rebound.
It's early, but Dallas 4 for 7 from the free throw line. Kessie, that has really been a problem for this team.
40-25 Mavericks. Brown out on top of the arc, tried to cross over Luka, lost it momentarily. Brown with 7 to shoot. Passes off to Holiday. Holiday's going to drive by Kleba, got deep, flips it up, no good. A rebound, Gafford.
Holiday having trouble getting on track. He's 0 for 3.
Boston shooting 33% in the first half. 7.5 to go. Here's Doncic. Pulls for 3. Missed it badly off to the right, and it caroms across the Dallas bench area out of bounds.
They're 4 for 11, Kesty. I don't understand the success they're having in the paint, why they're settling for 3s.
And Luka's 0 for 3 and does not have the lift on those shots. Here's Brown rising for 3. Wow. Oh, missed it badly wide right. Rebounded by Dallas. Both teams have struggled from 3. You can see Jaylen Brown, he's like, settle down, talking to himself. Yep. Here's Doncic into the lane, lost it, bats it toward the corner, and somehow Kyrie's got it, finds Doncic in the paint, got the foul, flipped it in, and a chance for 3 for Luka.
Luka goes over, and he's going to give Kyrie a hug. Really good recognition. Reminding me of that earlier play where Kyrie was just waiting to get the ball because he knew Lively was open. He was going to get it to him. Once he ran down that pass, he was in the dead left corner, and he just floated a soft lob to Luka, who was still in front of the rim.
Jaylen Brown picks up his second foul. He's still in his head. He was walking by, smacking his temple as he heads to the bench for Boston.
Well, he's been struggling. And again, Kesty, we talked before about how good Boston normally is not fouling shooters. This is the 3rd time they put Luka Doncic on the line, fouled in the act of shooting.
3 for 5 at the line. Meanwhile, the Celtics are stuck on 25 points, and we're nearly midway through this second quarter. 7:03 to go. Doncic hearing some MVP chants. Free throw good. 3-point play. 16 first half points for Luka Doncic.
4 points for the Boston Celtics in the first 5 minutes of the second quarter.
18-point lead for the Mavs, their largest of the finals. Pass to White, topside catch and shoot 3. Missed everything, and it goes out of bounds. Boston looking sluggish from the field. They've opened 3 for 14 from 3, and they're shooting 31% overall.
21% from downtown.
Mavericks down 3 games to none, enjoying their biggest advantage so far, up 18. Here's Exum, dancing with the dribble, bounces to Luka near the free throw line, guarded by Hauser. Now Luka steps back, 16-footer, net, all good, 18 for Luka. The lead grows to 20. Dallas in front as Joe Missoula calls for time.
Dallas, really complete performance.
20-point lead. for the Mavericks as they rise to their feet here at American Airlines Center with 6:35 to go in the half. Mavs 45, Boston 25. This is the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app presented by Indeed.
This is Carlin versus Joe. Chris Carlin, Joe Fortenbaugh.
Kendrick Perkins. Perk, your thoughts on Joe's lock right there?
If Joe like it, I love it.
Yeah. See, that's a smart take right there, Perk. We do the research so that y'all don't have to. It's our gift to the people.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to see. We're going for the over.
Carlin versus Joe. Weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN app, and on SiriusXM Channel 80. Mike Greenberg. Greeny.
Hembo, could you identify the very, very famous cover from that album?
I think there's like 4 or 5 gentlemen crossing a street.
Do you remember how many Beatles there were? Like the expression Fab Four has never reached you? Or
No. I was more familiar with the Fab Five.
Oh, the people crossing Abbey Road were not Jalen Rose and Chris Webber and Juwan Howard and Jimmy King and Ray Jackson.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app.
You feel that?
You can't get enough.
That buzz, the undeniable electricity,
the energy, the atmosphere.
Baby, it's the talk of the town.
You gotta love it.
Grabbing headlines and turning heads.
Yay!
The best league in the world welcomes a once-in-a-lifetime draft class. The WNBA. We can't get enough. A championship caliber rematch. New York Liberty at Las Vegas Aces. Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Presented by Google.
You can't get enough.
This weekend on ESPN Radio. One of the fiercest rivalries in sports begins another chapter.
Crushes one over the monster.
The AL East leading New York Yankees storm into Fenway Park to go head-to-head with the Boston Red Sox.
It is a rivalry marinated in history, home runs, and haymakers.
The Yankees at the Red Sox. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern and Sunday at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. For the ride of life.
Kevin Richard with you inside our Granger Studios. 6:35 to go here in the second quarter, and Dallas is up 20. Coming up on the AutoZone halftime report, Monica McNutt's going to join me to break down this game. Okay, where's this been from Dallas? Mark Kestecher, PJ Colissimo, George Donato, back to you.
All right, Kev, I think Mavericks fans are wondering that as well. George, what do you got?
Yeah, Kesty, I was behind the Celtics bench, and Al Horford took control and was telling the guys, just stay with it. Stay what you're doing defensively. Keep contesting. They'll let us back in it. Stay with it.
I'll tell you what, George, Dallas is doing it every way possible. Their 2 stars have 27 points and 5 assists. That's Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. 12-3 off the bench, keyed by Derek Lively, who's got 5 points and 7 boards. Their defense is exceptional. They've had the Celtics to 31% from the field, 21% from 3. They lead in paint points 26-12, and they lead in second chance points 9-0. Other than that, they're not doing that much.
Well, 2 field goals in the last 6+ minutes for Boston, dating back to the first quarter as they rush it up to the left to the Celtics out of the timeout with 6:25 to go in the half. Derek White dribbling on top, terminates, goes to Tatum, who's pushed all the way out by Kyrie, and Tatum not happy with it, pushes back all the way to the free throw line. Tatum now puts her left shoulder right into Kyrie and knocks him down, and it's an offensive foul on Tatum. You saw that coming from a mile away.
Yeah, Kyrie stayed right up against him, and there really was no room for Jason to get beyond him. David Guthrie, the official, with the call, and I think a good call.
The Boston Celtics, if you're wondering, they've won 10 in a row since that Game 2 loss to Cleveland. In that Game 2, they trailed by 29, eventually lost by 24. So that's their biggest deficit of the postseason. Right now, Dallas is up 20. Coming up on the 6-minute mark to go in the half, Dante Exum front court to our right. Bounces it to Luka above the arc against Hauser. Takes him off the dribble down to the baseline, cuts inside, goes for the layup and scores it and one. He got down low way too easily, then got the contact. Luka already with 20 points and another free throw coming.
Yeah, Sam Hauser's asking David Guthrie, what did I do? I didn't even touch him, but we should point out, we're watching the replay right now, I think he's got a gripe. There was not very little contact there. Those 10 straight wins, most in the history of the Boston Celtics in the playoffs. They've also won 7 in a row on the road.
That's right. As Doncic completes the three-point play, and 9 straight if you go back to last year. They've been so good on the road the last 3 postseasons. 9 straight Dallas points. The lead is 23 for Dallas. Who saw that coming? Here's Tatum all the way back to half court with 9 to shoot. Makes a run at Luka. Passes into the left corner. Up top to White. His angle 3. Pops in and out. Offensive rebound. Poked away from Horford. Everything going Dallas's way in the first half. Exum with 5.5 to go in the second. Lifts it to half court to Luka.
It's the third Boston 3 that literally went halfway down and came out.
They've missed 12 of 15 from deep. And here's Luka. Passing to Kyrie. Irving into the lane. Flips it up with the right hand. Lays it in. And the lead grows. Dallas doubling up Boston. 50-25.
Dallas has more paint points than Boston has points on the scoreboard.
From the corner, Hauser drains a 3 with the long arms of Gafford closing out on him. And that ends the long Dallas run. 5 minutes to go here in the half. 50-28. Dallas needing a win, down 3-love. They go to Doncic up high, switching defense. Hauser now on Luka. Drives him to the circle, to the dotted line. One-legged jumper's good. 23 first half points for Luka Doncic.
3 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal also.
52-28, all Dallas in half number 1 of game 4. Here's a pass down the lane for Holiday. Lost it, got it back, and then bricks one. An absolute brick from 10 feet.
Drew's 0 for 4.
I have not seen the Celtics look like this since, well, that game 2 against Cleveland in the second round. Here's Exum dancing into the lane, bumps against Hauser, laid it up, missed it. Loose ball, Horford grabs the rebound.
That was one of the easiest shots Dallas has had so far tonight.
White with a drive bump before the shot by Gafford at 4:05 to go here in this first half. Gafford with his first, only the second team foul against Dallas here in the quarter. Well, the hockey line change.
Boy, did we ever. Look at this.
Kleba, Exum, Gafford out. Josh Green, Derek Jones Jr., Derek Lively in.
Oh, you and Sean McDonough were on top of that call.
Tatum will inbound for Boston. 4 minutes to go in the half. To Brown. Slings it to Horford. 1 touch to White and bumped by Luka, who looks up at James Williams. A legit foul there.
Yeah, look at Luka. He's smiling. He's looking at Kyrie now saying, what?
He's turning over a new leaf slowly.
Yeah.
Second foul on Luka Doncic, who on the offensive end has been absolutely brilliant here in the first half.
Well, he's worked on defense. He's going to get a rest now.
And protect him, too, with the 2 fouls,
yeah,
right?
This new leaf is called a plus 24 leaf. He's very, very agreeable when the Mavs are up 24.
Up 24, and he's got 23. Exum replaced him. Inbound to Jaylen Brown. 4 minutes to go in the half. 10 to shoot. Brown beyond the arc. Picked up by Kyrie. Inside the arc. Dribbles to the free throw line. Gets to the dotted line. Pass across to White. 3 to shoot. Now to Tatum with 1. Tatum passes out. Not enough time. Shot clock violation. By the time it got to Horford, the shot clock had run out.
Another excellent defensive possession by the Dallas Mavericks. Jason Kidd with a timeout. Wants to make sure that they finish this half. He's telling his guys in his timeout, guys, we got 3 minutes and 47 seconds. We have to consolidate exactly what we've done. We've dominated this half. Don't let these guys go on any kind of run in this final almost 4 minutes.
We are 20 minutes into game 4, and the Boston Celtics only have 28 points. They trail 52-28.
They've given up 32 points in the paint. It's 32 paint points against 28 total points for the Boston Celtics.
Mark Kestisher, PJ Carlosimo, George Sedano with you here. Kevin Winter, Monica McNutt, our studio crew. John Medani, our producer. Al Rosenberg, Dave Sniff, our engineers, wherever you may be listening. We thank you for joining us here, the NBA on ESPN Radio from American Airlines Center in Dallas. And if necessary, Game 5 of this series will be in Boston on Monday night, 7 Eastern Time, 6 Central. Right now, Dallas looks like they're going to try to make it necessary, but we got a long way to go with Dallas out in front, 52-28. Luka, PJ, has 23 points, the most points in a half in Mavericks final history. Remember, he almost did it the other night. 24 by Dirk Nowitzki in that Game 2 comeback in the 11 finals, Dallas against Miami.
I don't think Jay Kidd will put him back in except for maybe a last-second offensive situation. And if he does, that record will go.
Dallas will have it out of the timeout into Josh Green. Green will bring it up from left to right with 3:40 to go in the half.
Look who's on the floor.
There he is. Luke is in. Pass to Lively in the high post. Gives to Kyrie Irving. Irving inside the arc. Twitches once, twitches twice. Goes to his left. Drives down the lane. Tough angled shot. It's the side of the backboard. And it goes out of bounds. Tried to save it, Irving, but he lost it.
That was a little payback there. Jason Tatum was all over Kyrie. There's a little one-on-one going on out there.
Right, attack Luka. They've been doing it anyway the whole series. Brown does not. They work it around the horn to Tatum. Baseline drive into Jones. Puts it up, circles the rim, falls off, and Scott Foster waited for that ball to come off the rim before he blew the whistle and a foul on Dallas.
Spun out. Luka can't believe it. Luka wants a challenge. Again, I don't think
not with this lead.
You know, I would not think so.
24-point lead. Look, you've been around the league for decades. We've watched basketball for a long time. That has happened in the history of this game, where you're waiting to see does it go in or go out and blow the whistle as Tatum hits the first.
It used to be it was considered good officiating. You know, it was like those plays where there was a slight foul and the ball gets knocked out of bounds. Instead of calling the foul on the guy, you just point the other way and give the team the ball. But they're against that now. They want to quantify everything. They analyze every call. They do an exceptional job rating the officials. And we should point out the 12 officials that are here, the 12 who were rated highest.
Tatum made 2 free throws. Dallas with a 22-point lead. Irving's 3 misses from the right. Another offensive rebound to Derek Lively. And there's also a foul on the play. Scott Foster, our lead official, going to call Derek White for a foul, and that's going to be his second.
And they're in the penalty.
2:57 to go here in this second quarter in which Boston has been limited to 9 points.
It just tells you the fact that they're in the penalty, what Boston's defense has been like tonight.
Lively missing on the first of 2. Derek, the one part of his game he'll have to work on is at the stripe. 50% regular year, 59 so far in the postseason.
Is that a Dirk record that you said that 24 and
yes.
Who's sitting right opposite you over there?
Yeah, Mr. Donic might own that record before long as Lively splits the pair. 2:57 to go in the half. Dallas by 23. 53-30. Boston with it from the right. Holiday gives it to Brown. Brown against Josh Green. Drives into the lane. Gathers. Shot blocked out of bounds emphatically by Derek Jones Jr. These are the others who've struggled in the series coming through tonight.
Well, I'm talking about struggling. Al Horford is yet to score. Derek White is 1 for 5. Drew Holiday is 0 for 4.
This will be a baseline trigger for Boston in the front court with Tatum.
And Peyton Pritchard is 0 for 3 off the bench.
Tatum looking, finds Brown, runs to the deep left corner, 10 to shoot, gives to Horford. They work it around to the right side to Holiday. Ball fake on the 3, drives and kicks. Brown left corner 3 on its way, no good. Rebounded by Dallas, another Boston miss from deep. They're 4 for 17 in the half. Luka looking for the best first half scoring in Dallas playoff history. Will pass it out to Green, who is fouled on a 3-point shot in the right corner, and Dallas will get 3 free throws, 2:24 to go in the half. Jaylen Brown picking up his 3rd foul, and he continues to really beat himself up mentally, Jaylen Brown, as he walks by the Boston bench.
Well, one of the cardinal sins for Boston Celtic defense is to foul a shooter, and they have done it repeatedly this evening.
And Dallas has unfortunately repeatedly missed free throws. Another miss. They've missed 5 out of 12.
Well, again, there's no surprise there. They're 16th in free throw shooting of the 16 playoff teams, and they were 27. Josh Green clangs the second one. They were 27 in the regular season of the 30 NBA teams. Simply put, they're a bad free throw shooting team.
I know Josh Green's not a great free throw shooter, but he only missed 3 free throws in the entire postseason, and he might match that right here. He's got one more coming. 2:24 to go in the second. Dallas 53, Boston 30. Must-win night for the Mavs. Green gets one of them, and it's back to a 24-point lead. Drew Holiday will bring it up with Tatum and White and Horford and Pritchard. 2:15 to go in the half. Holiday stops the dribble between the rings, goes to Horford, three-point line, back to Holiday for three. Missed it badly to the left. Another three-point miss for the Celtics. Luka brings it up with 23 points working against Pritchard, who tried to poke it away. Luka from the right, left-hand dribble into the high post, backs him into the mid-post, spins, fades, fires short. Rebound out of bounds. Last touch by Boston.
Won't be an individual rebound, but again, it's a team offensive rebound for Dallas. Another opportunity.
They've been crushing them on the offensive glass here in the half. Inbound to Irving. Minute 54 to go in the half. Baseline right. Steps back. Three-pointer, no. Tapped out by Lively. Another offensive board. Over to Luka for three. Circles the rim, no, and rebounded by Holiday.
8 offensive rebounds already for the Mavs.
Minute 40 left in the half. Tatum cut off by Green on the left wing. Now they're switching. Kyrie's got Tatum. Goes to the left hand to the right hand. Dribbles down to the free throw line. Spins into the lane and got some contact. He was looking to pass to Pritchard. Foul's going to be on Kyrie Irving.
2 shots. They're in the penalty.
And the bonus either
Those
way.
2 are going at each other. There's no question about that. Jason Tatum and Kyrie Irving. Derek Lively, by the way.
Yeah.
10 rebounds overall, 6 of them on the offensive glass.
He came in about 2.5 minutes into game 4. Jason Kidd put him into the lineup, and he has delivered across the board as Tatum hits the first of 2.
I would say he's got a significant leg up on his back-to-back double-double. He's third. He's got 3 already.
Lively was the 12th pick in the draft. Oklahoma City picked him, but picked him for Dallas. Yeah. It was a draft night deal. Remember, he made 42 starts as a rookie, and then when Gafford came over, Lively came off the bench, and all the pieces fell into place for the Mavericks as Tatum hits 2 more free throws, and he's got 15 in the half. Boston still down 22.
Yeah, back on March 7th, Jay Kidd changed the lineup. He put Derek Jones Jr. as a starter and Daniel Gafford as a starter, and they have not looked back since.
Here's Kyrie Irving, sends it to Kleba in the corner, 9 to shoot, foul on the floor, and that's going to put Dallas in the bonus. With 1:11 to go here in the half. They get Al Horford on that one?
I think they got Payton.
No,
Payton.
Yep, 1-1. Number 11, the jersey number.
Believe it or not, Kesty, these will be the 15th and 16th free throws that Dallas has already attempted tonight.
And the first one is good for Maxi Kleba. Free throws for the Mavericks, 9 out of 15. Overall, they're shooting 50% from the field, while the Celtics are below 30% shooting. A putrid first half for the Celtics.
I'll tell you what, Boston allows the fewest free throw attempts in the league in the playoffs. 13.7 a game. They've already exceeded that tonight.
Kleba hit both. 24-point lead. Dallas, 56-32, are coming up on a minute to go in the half. A decisive first half for the Mavericks. Tatum receives the pass up top. Right-hand dribble against Lively. Tries to get by him. Drives down the lane into Kleba, who affects the shot. Loose ball, and Kleba snatches it away inbounds. Gives it to Luka. Busting into the front court. Three-point line. Free throw line. Off the window and in. 25 first-half points for Luka Doncic.
A new Dallas record. Dirk Nowitzki seems pleased with that. And that's the 33rd and 34th paint points for Dallas this half.
And the biggest lead of the game, now 26, as Holiday hits a rare 3 for the Celtics. They were 4 for 18 before that make.
Well, and Drew was 0 for 5, so he's now 1 for 6 and 1 for 2 from downtown.
58-35. Dallas with a first-half beatdown, 20 seconds to go in the half. Luka, 18 seconds to go, 8 seconds difference on the clock. Now it's 7. Here's Doncic, crossing left, crossing right, gets by Horford, passes out last minute to Kleba for 3, hits it at the end of the shot clock. The Dallas Mavericks with a punctuation point to the half. 6 seconds to go in the second. 61-35 Mavs. Pass on top to Tatum. Last second 3 won't count if it goes. It was too late. And what an opening half for the Mavericks, who trail 3 games to none, but are dominating Boston up 26 at the break.
I said is one of the keys tonight, whether the Dallas Mavericks wanted to get on that plane to Boston or not. Clearly, they do.
The Boston Celtics only scored 11 points in the second quarter, and it's the Mavericks 61, Celtics 35. We are at the half as we send it to Kevin Winter and Monica McNutt in the studio with the AutoZone halftime report.
Kesty, PJ, George, get deals for Dad to the 16th with AutoZone's Father's Day sale. Save on brakes, wash, wax, and more. Now through the 16th, get in the zone. AutoZone 61-35. Boston hitting just 3 shots from the floor in that second quarter. They go 3 for 16, and the Dallas Mavericks up 26 here in game number 4, a must-win. Coming up next on the AutoZone halftime report, how much of this was Dallas? How much of this was Boston? How much of this for Dallas is sustainable beyond tonight? Lots of questions from Monica McNutt as the Mavericks are halfway home to sending this series back to Boston on a Monday night. 61-35, Mavericks lead Game 4 by 26. This is the NBA Finals exclusively on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Well, here we are again, and I got to tell you, Jim, this match has me really concerned.
Here we have a powerful heavyweight, a train, weighing in at 6,000 tons. And this hasty lightweight challenger, a car, at just 1.5 tons?
This does not bode well for the car or the people in it.
It's no contest. Every day, people are injured or killed trying to beat a train at rail crossings. See tracks, think train.
Elevate every morning with Tommy John's Second Skin underwear. What you put in your pants can make or break your day. The luxurious support of Second Skin guarantees everything will go smoothly. When you wear Tommy John, you're much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John's Silky Second Skin underwear has dozens of comfort innovations, like a supportive contour pouch and breathable, lightweight, moisture-wicking fabric with 4 times the stretch of competing brands. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, guys love Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers. They have fanatics. Plus, your most valuable assets are covered with Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear or its free guarantee. Get 20% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. Save 20% on Second Skin at TommyJohn.com/stream. TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
Spin your passion into a business with Shopify and break sales records with the world's best converting checkout. Let's hear that one more time. The world's best converting checkout. Shopify's legendary checkout makes it easier for customers to shop on your website, across social media, and everywhere in between. Now that's music to your ears. Any way you spin it, you can be a smash hit with Shopify. Start your $1 a month trial today at shopify.com/records.
This is the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Here's Luka passing to Kyrie. Irving into the lane, flips it up with the right hand, lays it in, and the lead grows. Dallas doubling up Boston, 50-25.
Dallas has more paint points than Boston has points on the scoreboard.
All right, that was at that point. By the time it's all said and done, the Mavericks have 1 fewer paint point than the Celtics have points on the scoreboard. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving have more points combined than the Celtics have on the scoreboard. We welcome in ESPN NBA analyst Monica McNutt from American Airlines Center. 61-35, Monica. Pick a side. Where do you want to go? How Dallas did it or how Boston just threw up all over themselves in the first half? Your point.
We're in Dallas, so let's go with how Dallas is getting it done. And it is exactly what we talked about. It's the pace that they're playing with. The ball is moving crisply, and they are playing aggressively and with confidence. Then you heard PJ say it in the sound we just opened up with, Winter. 34 points in the paint at the half and 10 points off of offensive rebounds. Now, look, when you're right, sometimes as an analyst, you got to pat yourself on the back. And I felt like offensive rebounds would be a place that this team could find some energy. And while the margin is much more than 10, I do think that those were, in fact, some energy plays that helped to give this team life.
All right, so what is Dallas doing defensively? Because, honestly, Monica, the 35 points the Celtics put up in this first half tonight, it is the fewest points they've ever had in any half, regular season or playoffs, under Joe Missoula? Is it Dallas's defense, or is Boston just sleepwalking through the first 24?
I think it's a little bit of both. If I had to put a percentage on it, I'd put it about 50%, 52%. I'll give them a slight edge. 52% Dallas's defense playing with urgency, understanding that they don't want their season to end just yet. But a lot of it is just uncharacteristic of this Boston Celtics team. I'm watching Drew Holiday and Jaylen Brown bobble the basketball when no one's really guarding them. I'm watching Jason Tatum, not really be able to control himself trying to get by one defender. Like, they're throwing the ball all over the place. This seems like a team that actually, we talked about that word urgency. It seems like it's been a detriment for the Celtics. They're not ready for the moment.
Well, and also, I want to go back. Monica McNutt, Kevin Winter with you, the AutoZone halftime report. Game 4 of these NBA Finals. It's Dallas by 26, trying to keep their season alive to force Game 5 in Boston on Monday night. I asked you about Boston's mood, whether it was too loose. What was their mood, and you weren't sure. They looked too loose. Honestly, it almost seemed like they were overconfident, and that's the way it played. I want to look at Dallas's defense, Monica, because whether Boston was sleepwalking, let's give Dallas some credit. At least watching from Bristol, Dallas looks like they're aggressive as all you know what on the defensive end of on the floor.
I think so, and I think going into this game, when you looked at the hustle stats in terms of loose balls, they were all in favor of the Celtics. That has not been the case so far in this one. But even in that, though, Winter, I'm not knocking the urgency of Dallas, but in the arena, I don't know if it's showing on television, the Celtics just don't look like themselves at all, right? Like, yes, this is the most prolific offense we've seen from these Mavs yet in terms of getting everybody involved, the energy on the glass, scoring at all three levels, and, of course, Luka Doncic with 25 in the first half. But really? I think this is only the second time in the series where there's only one double-digit score for the Celtics at halftime.
Let's also do this. Boston was up 29 in game number 1. They led by 21 at the half. I said, is it over? And you said, hell no. How does Boston come back and make this a game?
They've got to settle down. George Sedano, our colleague, reported early in this ball game that Al Horford said you just got to keep doing what you're doing and walking them down. Now, I do think there's a few places that there needs to be some adjustments if you're the Celtics. They've got to be a little bit better on the defensive end. They need to do a better job of getting the defensive rebounds to end possessions, and they got to put a little bit more pressure on Luka. But you hold Kyrie to 11 in the first half. He hits a 3, but other than that, not a ton of highlight plays from him. On their offensive end, they've got to look to be crisper. I'm not sure. It's probably a combination of playing with speed before Dallas can get down there defensively, but also in their half court, they got to get back to trusting their offense and moving the basketball.
That ball did not move. It stuck an awful lot in the first half. McNutt, I'll talk to you on the postgame show. Great stuff. Appreciate it.
Good.
Monica McNutt inside American Airlines Center. That'll do it for us on the AutoZone Halftime Report. 26-point Dallas lead. This is Game 4 of the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
This is Freddie and Harry.
Big Mike in Texas, what you got, my friend?
Oh, my God. I'll wait on the phone forever until the show is over,
We appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Freddie, Dan, I'm going to tell you, I work midnight as a delivery manager, and I listen to you for years up all night, man. I appreciate it. And I want to tell you, man, I probably wouldn't have worked there that long if you hadn't been on the radio.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Being the head coach of the Lakers feels like an opportunity that you really can't say no to unless you're put in an impossible situation of having championship expectations, knowing that this roster is nowhere close to that. And so the Lakers are going to be right back in this same spot, this same cycle of dysfunction, this same treadmill of mediocrity.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. The Baseball Tonight Podcast.
Kansas City Royals, who have a great anchor in their rotation in Cole Reagans, they're really interesting to me.
The Baseball Tonight Podcast is on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Time for an oil change? Right now, you can save on Valvoline Restore and Protect, the only oil that restores and protects your engine to like factory clean. You can also save on brakes, tools, and more during the Father's Day sale with dad-approved deals through June 16th. AutoZone Father's Day sale, now through the 16th.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Texting enrollment
enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Nothing but net.
Good shot. Man, I miss playing basketball. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text BACK to 231-231 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text BACK to 231-231. That's BACK to 231-231.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696. And manage your diabetes as easy as...
You're listening to the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
And that'll do it for us on the AutoZone halftime report. Mavericks by 26, trying to send this to a Game 5 second half, and Game 4 is next. This is the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants and stuff.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, and here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
NBAstore.com, the official online store of the NBA, and the world's largest selection of officially licensed NBA fan gear. With unique designs by Fanatics, Nike, and all the latest styles for every NBA team, plus one-of-a-kind products and authentic collectibles. Shop now and get today's special offer. NBAstore.com, a Fanatics experience.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Pro Paint Days are back at Lowe's. Save $40 on select 5-gallon HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams paint, like Weather Shield, Showcase, or ceiling paint. Plus, save $10 on drywall PVA primer and get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Lowe's knows paint. Lowe's knows pros. Offers valid through 6/14. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Because comfort keeps us going. So grab your family, your friends, and your Wrangler layers for some fresh air adventures together. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Hope your imaginary friends are hungry, because IHOP's new menu, inspired by the movie If, is our most imaginative yet. With blue raspberry pancakes, a pizza omelet, unbelievable soda pops, and more. It's time to set your imaginary friends free. Only at IHOP. Kids eat free every day 4 to 10 p.m. And see If in theaters May 17th. One free kids entree per full-priced adult entree. Restrictions apply. This film is not yet rated.
This is the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Game 4 of the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed. $61-35 Dallas. Start the second half back in Big D as the Mavs try to send this series back to Boston with George Sedano and PJ Carlissimo. Here's Mark Kestecher.
All right, Kevin, it is a 26-point lead for Dallas, which begins with the letter D. In so many years in this franchise, they did not play D. They played some really good defense in this first half on top of this to build this big lead.
No, they played exceptional defense, and it wasn't just that the Celtics are cold from three. Yeah, they're 5 for 19. That's 26%. They're not a heck of a lot better from two. They're 6 for 18. They've contested shots at the rim. They've done a good job staying in front of people, even or especially if you choose Luka Doncic. He's done a good job. He's worked. They've gotten tremendous help from their bench. 19-6 bench points. But Derek Lively's the guy that really ignited this team early with his rebounding and his scoring. He's on the verge of a second consecutive double-double, which would give him 4 for the playoffs. Really the only guys ahead of him then would be Mr. Tatum and Mr. Doncic.
Well, before we get the second half underway, let's check in with George Sedano.
Guys, I saw that Derek Lively now has a wrap on his left hand. He was checked out in the back. I asked him personally if he's okay, and he gave me the thumbs up.
Thank you, George. We'll keep an eye on that one. 25 first-half points for Luka Doncic, the best half in Mavericks playoff history. He beats Dirk Nowitzki's record, who's sitting across the way from us, and the 35 points for Boston. Not only the worst of the year for Boston, it is the least amount of points in any half in the 2 years of Joe Missoula, who's been outstanding as head coach of the Celtics.
Yeah, that half will break every negative record that Boston has acquired over the course of this year. And to put another one, Kyrie and Luka have accounted for 50 of the 61 points, either scoring or assisted.
Luka sends it to Gafford in the low post against Tatum. Wheel, shot, no. Again, late whistle. Foul's going to go on Tatum, who kind of lightly smacks the ball into the deck and then quickly grabbed it as it was on its way up. We've had a number of those late whistles, waiting to see if that ball falls off the rim.
We saw our good friend and excellent job running the officials, Monty McCutcheon here. And I must say, it hurts me to say this, Monty looked really good. He did not need to plug in his suit or anything. He wasn't borrowed from Clarabelle. He looked really, really dapper.
And for folks who are maybe new to the program, I've never seen you two not bicker about your clothing back and forth when you and Monty McCutcheon as Gafford hits the first.
Great.
Resplendent.
I don't think he's going to be thrilled with all these late whistles, though.
One more for Daniel Gafford, 62-35 Dallas. A lot of folks made their way down from New England. Probably spent a lot of money to buy some tickets secondhand on the chance of a Boston championship tonight. They're going to need one whale of a comeback if they're going to do it. As Gafford hits both free throws. That's a headline in itself. 28-point lead. Horford with a triple from outside.
On the board, his first 3 points of the night. It kind of gives you an indication of what Boston's offense has been like and what Dallas's defense has been.
Celtics were 5 for 19 from deep in the opening half. 63-38 Dallas. Irving bounces it. They're going to go low post against Gafford, this time against Holiday. Tried the pivot, passes out. Swings it to Doncic up high. 3 to shoot. Luka sees it. Fires it from 40 feet away. It smacks against the backboard and rim, but Boston has the rebound on the long court pass. How about Luka getting there to tip it away? To Kyrie, who feeds Gafford down the lane. Hammered by Horford. Shot does not go. Daniel will head to the free throw line. Talk about a 180 from what we saw 2 nights ago from Luka Doncic and what we're seeing so far tonight.
His effort has been really, really good. And again, truth be told, the other night was one of his poorer games. Dallas Mavericks would not be here, even remotely close to being here, without Luka Doncic. But his offense, his passing, his rebounding, he leads the playoffs in all 3 categories. If that continues for the remainder of this series, he's going to be the only second player in the history of the NBA to do that. And occurred for the first time last year, Mr. Jokic.
Daniel Gafford, PJ, was 61% free throw shooting at the free throw line in the postseason. Made the first. He is now 7 for 13. No, better than that, 7 for 10 at the free throw line in the postseason. He just made 4 outstanding looking strokes at it here in the third quarter for 4 made free throws.
I'll tell you, Dallas could have used some of these made free throws in the 2 games in Boston in particular.
Just underway, second half, 65-38 Dallas. Jaylen Brown from the left corner, drives into the lane. Luka lets him go by. Brown missed the shot. Luka's got the rebound. Down floor, lofts it for Gafford, makes the catch, finishes the alley-oop. It's been a rarity in the finals, only their 4th of the finals.
I'll preface it by saying it's the NBA, and there's been incredible comebacks. I'm thinking the other way, Kesty.
Gafford, the perimeter block on a Tatum 3-point attempt, and then Jaylen fouled him at 10:16 to go here in the third.
He tripped over him. That's a tough call. Jason Tatum ended up on his back on the shot. Gafford blocked it, then actually ran into him. He knocked him down, and then as he tried to follow, we got a timeout here by Joe Missoula. Kesty, that's what I was starting to say. I know there's a ton of time to go. I know nobody shoots the threes better than the Boston Celtics, but at some point, Joe Missoula is going to talk to his assistants about maybe we choose to fight another day.
Game 5, if necessary, would be Monday night in Boston. Right now, it's a 29-point Dallas lead.
And Daniel Gafford has scored every point for Dallas.
And Tatum had 2 fouls. Now Holiday pulls the chair out on Gafford, who fell down, and Holiday grabs the rebound. Tatum went to the bench with the 4 fouls. Jaylen Brown, baseline drive, accelerates off the window, no good. Punched out, it's loose, and it'll go to Dallas. Nothing going for Jaylen Brown tonight, and he's also not happy. He thought there was heavy contact in there.
He's having a little discussion with Scott Foster as they come up the court.
67-38, all Mavericks. 9:45 to go in the third. Kyrie from the right, threads the pass across to the left. Washington grabs it, knocks it down. What a night for the Mavericks. On the worst night of the season for the Boston Celtics, Dallas is having equally one of their best. 70-38 Dallas.
There's a whistle I did not hear, and there's a not surprising sub 2.5 minutes in to the second half. Mr. Lively coming back in.
But is he coming for Gafford? Had a great start for the third.
I wouldn't think so.
Maybe we're going Twin Towers. We'll see. Gafford's kind of side-eyeing the bench like, you're not coming for me, are you? I got it rolling.
I got 6 points, and I blocked the shot so far.
9.5 to go here in the third. Celtics inbound it, working around to Hauser. Left corner, inside the arc. He'll try the 20-footer, and he will get it. Sam Hauser with a bucket, 70-40. Dallas's lead was at 32. Now it's down to 30.
Mr. Nowitzki has returned.
Hard not to see him get into his seat. Pass to the corner. Jones hits the triple. As rare as the alley-oop was in the finals, so were the corner threes. And Derrick Jones Jr. gets one there. 33-point lead for the Mavericks. Brown will drive on Washington. Got fouled by PJ on his way down the lane. 8:53 to go in the third, and 2 free throws coming for Brown.
It's one of the few times tonight Boston has been able to get by their primary defender. Got a head and shoulder in front, and
no choice but to foul right there.
PJ, you've been around basketball a long time. A game you have to win, but you have a 30-point lead. Has to be a tough conundrum to try to keep your intensity going as Brown hits the first of two.
I mean, you don't get to practice it very much, that's for sure. Playing with a 30-point lead or playing with a 30-point deficit. But what's important for Dallas is, should they hold on tonight, which it certainly appears they will, can they bring this newfound confidence and this excellent defense? Will that travel with them to Boston?
Jaylen Brown's free throw a moment ago is his first point since the 9-minute mark to go in the second quarter. 3 for 12 from the field. 2 for 3 at the line. Second offering is good. Mavericks 73, Celtics 42. 8:50 on the clock here in the third quarter.
Jason Tatum is the only Boston starter shooting 40% from the field.
Here's Doncic from the left, puts it on the deck into the lane. 12-foot flipper goes down for Luka. His first points of the second half, 27 for the game, and apparently way too easy for Joe Missoula, who calls for time.
Well, there's no question. They've got a bunch of paint points already, Kesty. They're up to 38 points in the paint. They're posting up Gafford. I guess you don't get credit for paint points when you get fouled and go to the free throw line. But again, they're pounding it inside. They're either scoring or getting fouled.
Many folks saying, where have these Dallas Mavericks been? The Western Conference champs looking more like it tonight. Dallas 75, Boston 42, timeout, 8:38 to go in the third. You're listening to the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app presented by Indy.
Elevate every morning with Tommy John's Second Skin underwear. What you put in your pants can make or break your day. The luxurious support of Second Skin guarantees everything will go smoothly. When you wear Tommy John, you're much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John's Silky Second Skin underwear has dozens of comfort innovations, like a supportive contour pouch and breathable, lightweight, moisture-wicking fabric with 4 times the stretch of competing brands. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, guys love Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers. They have fanatics. Plus, your most valuable assets are covered with Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear or its free guarantee. Get 20% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. Save 20% on Second Skin at TommyJohn.com/stream. TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Kevin Hunter with you inside our Granger studio. Game 4 NBA Finals. Mavericks by 33. You heard me right. Boston's largest loss during the regular season was also by 33. That came in January in Milwaukee on the second night of a back-to-back. And Kesty, PJ, and George, if you remember that night, Joe Missoula made his starters sit the entire second half. That was January, not Game 4 of the Finals. Back to you in Dallas.
And their starters been talking to themselves right in the middle of the floor right now as we check in with George.
Kesty behind the Boston bench. That's where I was planted a moment ago. And Al Horford was telling the guys, the Mavericks are getting whatever they want. That's not who we are. Let's go get to our identity.
PJ, great start to the second half for Dallas. Here is the lead of 75-42.
They're pounding it inside. They're getting whatever they want. They're also making free throws. There's the news flash. 4 for 4 so far in the second half. Boston is shooting the ball better so far. They're 2 for 5, but that pales with the 4 for 6 Dallas has going.
8.5 left in the third. Derek White across the top. Picked up by Luka. He's played some good defense tonight. White against Luka, rises over the outstretched arm of Luka, missed it, and saved by Lively.
That was good defense by Luka and not good shot selection by Derek White.
They have crushed Luka, Boston has, but not tonight, as Irving misses a 3 from the right. Ball knocked away by Derrick Jones Jr. Kind of reached for his shoulder a little bit that time as he extended. Boston has it going the other way. Holiday from the left. We're under 8 minutes to go in the third. Dribble handoff White. Back to Holiday at the right angle. He'll take the 3. He'll miss it. Flying in Horford for the rebound. Couldn't hang on, though. And it's out of bounds to the Mavericks. Boy, it's one of those nights for Drew Holiday. 1 for 7. He and Derek White are 2 for 13. The outstanding backcourt for the Boston Celtics.
You know, it was really cooled off, Kesty, also. Kyrie was 4 for 7, had 9 points in the first quarter. He's only scored 2 since then. It's primarily been Luka. Now, Kyrie has passed the ball very well, but he has not scored very much since the first quarter.
And a pushing foul off the ball against Boston. Derek White picks up his third.
No, I think he changed it to Sam Hauser.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Almost looked like an away from the play foul.
It is the 4th team foul of the quarter. It's 7:40 to go here in the third. Inbound Luka, straddling the three-point line, rocks back, hand in his face three, off the rim and backboard. Lively, another offensive rebound as he's fouled. Putback wouldn't go, but the Rook, full of confidence, headed to the free-throw line.
Took one away from him. We had him for 6, and our courtside monitors have had him for 6 at the half. But when the final stats came out from the NBA office, they dropped him to 5. But I don't think Derek Lively's going to be upset with that. But he has really been active tonight, and he's totally dominated the offensive glass for the Mavs.
Well, part of the transformation for the Dallas Mavericks this year, not only the trades they made at the deadline, but the draft acquisition on draft night to get Derek Lively, the first of 2, no good. Of course, he's playing with a very heavy heart. His mom, who was also a basketball player, passed away a couple of months ago, and I know he did an outstanding conversation with Malika Andrews a couple of days ago as he plays for her memory, and he hits the free throw there.
I'll tell you what, our interview with him the other day was excellent. He handles himself really, really well, and he has had a fantastic year. Kes, he's played better in the playoffs than he did in the regular season.
Holiday got deep that time and scored the layup against Kleba. 76-44 Dallas. 32-point advantage as we come up to 7 minutes to go here in the third quarter of Game 4.
You think Mr. Winter is lighting votive candles in the studio in Bristol?
We've taken the shoelaces away, I know that. As Luka missed it short, Kyrie digs it and puts it in. Went and chased down the rebound and knocks home the 10-footer.
Second chance opportunities is a joke, Kes. They have 13 second chance points. Boston has 0.
Derek White splashing home a 3 right in front of the Dallas bench from the corner. Kyrie Irving still kind of picking at his right ear.
He got banged on the side. Joe Missoula is clapping his hands, exhorting his guys to pick up the intensity and play with more, I would say, more juice.
31-point lead. Luka drives, missed the layup. Horford knocks it to Holiday out on the wing. Drew into the front court, 6:10 to go in the third. Drew trying to get around Kleba, can't. Pass to the wing, knocked out of bounds by the long arms of Derek Jones Jr., who has been a factor here tonight. At 6:09 to go here in the third, Jason Tatum back in and Hauser sits down.
Derek Jones Jr. kind of gets overlooked at times. He went into that lineup at the same time Daniel Gafford did on March 7th, and that starting lineup has been excellent for them. He's some defensive player.
Celtics trailing big, 78-47. They inbound. Derek White tripped, and as he's falling down, was trying to gather. Foul's going to be on Luka.
Yeah,
that'll be his
side
third.
out. Scott Foster's not buying the gather on that.
Third team foul against Dallas. Tatum will walk over to the left sideline at 6:07 to go here in the third.
But Derek Gafford, Kes, we're talking about his defense, the guys he's covered so far in this playoffs. Well, let's get this inbound and I'll finish my thought.
Tatum will be handed the ball, has it, gets it into Drew Holiday. 14 to shoot. Holiday beyond the arc against Luka. Drives by him. Luka tapped it. It's loose, and Lively's got it. Wow. Luka playing some defense tonight. Up ahead to Kleba. Layup, no, and Tatum snares the rebound. Boston has numbers here. Tatum middle of the floor, left side to Holiday. Dances beyond the arc to Tatum in the corner. Irving has him. Tatum inside the arc. Now to Brown on the left. Pass inside. Another tip and deflection and a Dallas steal. Josh Green had it poked away by Holiday. They'll rule last touch by Drew. It'll be Dallas ball.
Yeah, they went so far, so quickly in transition, the referees didn't catch up. There was a foul. He raked him, but they gave him the ball out of bounds.
5:37 on the clock here in the third. 78-47, Dallas. Luka to inbound baseline into Irving. White gets all over him in that left corner. Right-hand dribble into the mid-post. Jump stop in the lane, puts it up. Layup good for Kyrie. And Joe Missoula calling for another timeout. They just can't stop the bleeding. Dallas leading 80-47.
This is one of those nights where the one team is going very, very quickly downhill, and the other team has been unable to play at that pace.
Down 3-0, leading game 4 by 33, and with 5:29 to go in the third, Mavs 80, Celtics 47. This is the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Well, here we are again, and I got to tell you, Jim, this match has me really concerned.
Here we have a powerful heavyweight, a train, weighing in at 6,000 tons. And this hasty lightweight challenger, a car, at just 1.5 tons?
This does not bode well for the car, or the people in it.
It's no contest. Every day, people are injured or killed trying to beat a train at rail crossings. See tracks, think train.
Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio.
If Caitlin is on the Olympic team and doesn't play a minute, every press conference is going to be about Caitlin Clark. And it does not help anybody when the goal is to immediately go and win. Like, I have got zero problem with the fact that she's not on the team. And if you're not going to have interest in it, maybe you should.
Carlin versus Joe. Weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and on SiriusXM Channel 80. Mike Greenberg is Greeny.
Aaron Rodgers, the off-the-field stuff with him, it just is going to be what it's going to be. I've given up on hoping that will remain contained. He's like a person who has hacked your Twitter feed. He's going to post whatever he wants, and I can't do anything about it. I just have to hope that in the end, he plays great. I'm not going to worry about those things, because at the end of the day, they don't matter.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app.
You feel that?
You can't get enough.
That buzz? The undeniable electricity?
The energy, the atmosphere.
Baby, it's the talk of the town.
You gotta love it.
Grabbing headlines and turning heads.
Yay!
The best league in the world welcomes a once-in-a-lifetime draft class. The WNBA. We can't get enough. A championship caliber rematch. New York Liberty at Las Vegas Aces. Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Presented by Google.
You can't get enough.
For the ones who get it done.
Kevin Winter with you inside our Granger studio. Fun with math. Boston is on pace to score 74 points tonight. If that were to happen, Dallas doesn't have to score again. 17:29 to go in the ball game. It's Dallas 80, Boston 47. Get the feeling the white flag's getting close to coming out. Mark Kessinger, PJ Calissimo, George Sedano, back to you.
And in case you're wondering, Kev, the biggest finals blowout, 42 points. Remember that game? Bulls beat Utah in 1998, 96-54.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the stats, I mean, there's so many stats tonight, it's take your pick. But second chance points is 15-0 in favor of Dallas, who's just owning the offensive boards. Should point out, though, coming into tonight, the number 2 team in the playoffs in terms of fewest second chance points allowed is the Boston Celtics. They are just getting drilled at something they usually excel in.
10 offensive rebounds for the Mavs, 7 for Derek Lively. That ties his career high as a rookie. Here's Holiday, baseline right, into the lane against Luka. Again, knocked the ball away, and out of bounds it goes. What a night by Luka Doncic. 27 points and playing some Major League D tonight. They'll wipe up the perspiration.
Luka,
Dallas will take it.
Surprisingly to me, Kesty took a lot of heat in the last couple days since Game 3, and he certainly has provided an answer to the critics so far.
Might have been stewing the last 48 hours. Doncic looks back to the opposite end, sees the shot clock at 9. Now takes Horford and passes to the corner. Green off the bounce, drives hard, missed the shot. Might have been deflected by Boston.
Drew Holiday got a piece of that.
Here's Brown the other way, goes right into Kleba, sends it outside to Holiday. Now he drives and floats it up and in. A staple to the Boston game. Drive hard, pass out to a perimeter runner.
Yeah, and it started with a block and a defensive rebound. Defensive rebounds have been hard to come by.
Kyrie just goes and lays it up. Showed the right hand and just flipped it up and in.
He and Jason Tatum have been going at each other every night. It's like a one-on-one game within the bigger game.
Holiday, 3 from the right, goes down again in front of the Mavs bench. It's 82-52. Celtics still down 30 despite that make.
Drew Holiday started 1 for 5, I believe. He's certainly heated up since then.
3 for 5 since. Irving into the front court. 4 minutes to go here in the third. Crowd trying to keep itself engaged. Here's Doncic. Tough angled shot. Good again. Taking on Tatum. Drove at him. Faded laterally and knocked home the J. Kyrie Irving's got 19 points in game 4. Here's Brown driving. Kicking to the left corner. White's 3. No. And Doncic has the rebound. Luka front court. Luka jump pass to Kleba on the right. Now to Green. No look pass. Lively for the slam. And the rookie continues to impress here in game 4.
He's on the verge of that double-double. He's up to 9 points.
Boston turns it over. Lively comes up with it. Doncic to Irving. Hits the rolling Lively, and there's the double-double on the slam. All Dallas. Timeout Joe Missoula. 88-52 Mavericks. Lively, 11 points and 12 rebounds here in a must-have game 4.
Well, I tell you what, I'm looking out, Kesty. Sam Cassell's in an animated discussion. He was all over David Guthrie on the other end of the floor. He's at the foul line in front of the Mavs bench, and Scott Foster came over because Sam was out pretty far near half court and said, Sam, back to the bench, and Sam's really upset. He thought there was a trip on the last play that was missed.
Check our attendance tracker because I was saying the fans are trying to keep themselves engaged. Derek Lively just re-engaged them. Our attendance is a sellout of 20,610, brought to you by Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Get great deals on the hottest tickets. Experience it live. I hope those Dallas fans who sold their seats to Celtics folk are enjoying it on the television or on the radio.
I hope they're listening to us.
88-52, Mavericks at 3:18 to go here in the third.
Well, I'll tell you, Kesty, Derek Lively tonight, that will be his 4th double-double. The only 2 players that have more than that in the playoffs this year, Luka Doncic has 15, Jason Tatum has 13. Derek Lively is in third place with 4.
The white flag has just been waved at the 3:18 mark to go in the third quarter. Svi Mikhailuk and Luke Cornett and O'Shea Brissett have just checked into the Boston lineup.
With Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard.
Yep. So
took longer than I thought.
Joe Missoula will live to fight another day with Game 5 still technically, if necessary, but looking very necessary Monday night at TD Garden. Pritchard front court to Hauser. 88-52 Dallas. Pritchard, who has struggled and struggles on the pass down the lane, misconnected with Luke Cornett, and it goes out of bounds.
Boy, the turnovers are starting to mount for the Celtics now. That's 14, Kesty.
A full-on game that you were just going to burn. Burn After Reading, I believe, was the title of a movie.
Yep.
They're going to use that here. Here's Doncic at the top. And how long will Jason Kidd go with his main unit? Doncic, tough angle, squirts one in from about 5 feet away. Luka up to 29.
I would think not long. Jay Kidd is smart enough to realize he doesn't want to get any of the players hurt, much less the 2 big guns.
Especially Luka's dealing with at least 3 injuries that we know of. Here's Pritchard into the lane, takes a short jumper, had plenty of time to square and knocks it home. A rare make for Pritchard. I think it's only his 2nd field goal of the finals.
Yeah, Peyton's really struggled.
Yeah, he's 1 for 4. He only had 1 field goal, which was that buzzer-beating 3 at the end of the third back in Boston. And another easy layup for Kyrie Irving, who's now up to 21 points, 92-54 Dallas.
We're going to have to get out our little encyclopedia, see what the points in the paint record is.
Good call. Here's Hauser behind the screen 3. Good for Sam Hauser. Knocking home the triple with 1:50 to go in the third. Still a 35-point advantage for the Mavericks, who've led by as many as 38. Luka between the rings 3, no. Tapped out by Green, chased down by Green before he went over half court. 10 seconds to shoot. Kyrie over to Luka, sidestep left, firing a 3, and we got a wedgie on a 3-pointer. Ball stuck between the rim and the backboard on probably Luka's last shot attempt of Game 4.
I think that is the case.
Well, he won't get over 30 points tonight, but we will get a center jump. And now Dwight Powell comes in. Kyrie Irving is out. Luka is out. And you know Derek Lively should bathe in the glow of this standing O as well as he heads to the bench.
Very similar stats, Kesty. He had 11 points and 13 rebounds in Game 3, 11 points and 12 rebounds in Game 4. Derek Lively.
Got a center jump coming up. It's like Kleba and Cornette at 1:29 to go in the third. And the tap is controlled by Boston, trailing 92-57. Give you some numbers in a little bit as we bridge the fourth quarter from Game 3 and stitch it into this game for some major momentum for Dallas potentially. Here's Pritchard from the right, crossing nothing, goes to Hauser, goes to his left, gets an open look, and connects again. Back-to-back triples for Hauser.
Well, Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard would do well to get a couple more shots going in just to set them up for Game 5 action.
92-60 Dallas. Floater from Jaden Hardy who misses, but Powell, great save on the baseline. Back out to Hardy. Finds an open Exum. His three circles the rim and falls off and is rebounded by Brissett of Boston.
Like a lot of Mavs, Dante Exum has played very well tonight.
He has. Svi Mikhailuk authoring a three, no good. Guys that did not expect to get into finals games, but we got a big blowout here in Dallas in favor of the Mavs. Half a minute to go in the third. Jaden Hardy will start the offense from on top. Remember in Game 1, he drives hard and Brissett rejects him. Hardy had like 12 points in 3 minutes in the opener of the finals.
Yeah, he's first two very short on his first shot, and second one was blocked.
10 seconds to go here in the third. Pritchard, who's been the whisper of late third quarter shots, rises with 2 seconds to go. Missed that one. Rebound by Green. That's the end of the quarter. Well, Dallas ended last game on a 29-15 run. So since the 10-15 part of the fourth quarter in Game 3, we'll have to update it, but the Mavericks were about plus 50 through the 3:18 mark of the third quarter, and they hope they can bottle some of that to head to Boston on Monday.
Just tack 6 more points on their lead. 32-point lead heading to the fourth.
We are through 3 in Game 4. Dallas 92, Boston 60. This is the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
This weekend on ESPN Radio, one of the fiercest rivalries in sports begins another chapter.
Crushes one over the monster.
The AL East leading New York Yankees storm into Fenway Park to go head-to-head with the Boston Red Sox.
It is a rivalry marinated in history, home runs, and haymakers.
The Yankees at the Red Sox. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern and Sunday at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
I'm David Dennis Jr., hosting ESPN Daily this week. Every weekday morning, we bring you the best sports story you'll hear all day. Today, on ESPN Daily, as the Yankees and Red Sox get set to meet for the first time this season, Jeff Passan explains what the rivalry means in 2024 and tells us why things have been quiet at Fenway Park. That's ESPN Daily. Follow us and listen wherever you get good podcasts.
Marty and McGee.
Marty, you got that white patch in your beard that I really think you took some Just for Men to that and made it solid.
Mike, you ever use
Why
Just for
would
Men?
I do that?
I do Just for Men, yeah.
Do you understand? I don't need to pay $8.99 to get a little damn brush and run it through my beard so that I end up looking like Richard Dreyfuss.
Marty and McGee. Saturday mornings from 7 to 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the SEC Network. The Low Post Podcast with Zach Lowe.
Celtics, it's essentially already unprecedented for a team to get this far and win so much and advance so many times in such a short time span and never win the whole thing. The East is never going to open up for them in the postseason like it did this year. You know, this is pretty close to like you kind of got to win this series and finish the job as a 64-win team.
Check out the Low Post Podcast on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Terms and conditions apply.
by 32. Mark Kessler mentioned it. The largest blowout in NBA Finals history. Bulls over the Jazz, 96-54 in 1998, a 42-point margin of victory. Kesty, PJ, and George, my favorite part about that game was when Jerry Sloan got to the podium postgame, picks up the box score and says, "This is the final score? Really?" Back to you guys.
Yeah, I remember working. I think I was on the update desk that night at ESPN Radio. And you don't get too many nights where a professional basketball game had one of the teams in the 50s. And as we said, not going to Springfield that night for Utah, and this one won't be going to Springfield tonight, the shorter distance from Boston, Massachusetts.
You know, this is one of those tapes you don't need to look at. Obviously, the Celtics staff will look at it. There may be some abridged clips they show the players, but believe me, the players know all the things they did not do well tonight. And again, the mantra the other day in the off days, Dallas was saying, hey, we get this home game as Peyton Pritchard clangs a three. We just got to win one on the road to get it back, to a Game 7. We just got to protect our home court. So you have to play mind games when you're in a 7-game series, especially when you're down 3-0.
Got a Markieff Morris sighting. First action of the postseason for Morris, and an offensive foul for Dallas means Markieff won't get a chance to touch it. Markieff Morris was on that bubble championship team with the Los Angeles Lakers. He and Kyrie Irving, two members of the Mavericks who have championship rings, but he's been more like an assistant coach on the bench.
Well, guess who else was an assistant coach on that Laker team?
Jason Kidd.
Exactly.
Who's the head coach now, watching Svi Mikhailuk miss for Boston. It's Exum and Dante Powell. Now Hardy flips it back to Exum. History on its way. It is good. Tim Hardaway Jr. and Markieff Morris also out there on the floor for the Dallas Mavericks, who lead by 35, 95-60. Mikhailuk off the curl, missing a three, rebounded by Markieff Morris.
Well, you referenced it earlier, Kesty. Dante Exum shot 49% from the three-point line in the regular season.
That was one of the big stories of their great comeback since February, was his shooting, as Morris offers his first shot of the postseason and misses it from the wing. Exum was getting 20 minutes a game in the regular year. He's only getting 6 in the postseason as Hauser misses a three. But he's a guy who really completely remade his career. Remember, a draft pick number 5 by the Utah Jazz, dealt with injuries, played the last couple of years overseas, and he throws one up and throws it in. Dante Exum with 2 more points on the board.
So much. There was such a build-up when Dante first came into the league, and then looked like a combination of injuries and things just weren't going his way. But he's looked very, very good 2 of the games in this series.
10 minutes to go in the game, 97-60 in favor of Dallas, with Game 5 set virtually for Monday night. Here's Hauser, step-back three from the wing goes, and Sam Hauser maybe tuning up for Monday night's game as he hits the triple, his 4th of Game 4.
Well, it will be needed. There's no question. The Boston Celtics depend so much on that three-point shot.
We will have that game for you, ESPN Radio and on ABC, as Tim Hardaway Jr., who's been nailed to the bench for most of the postseason, drills a three. Pritchard knocks down Exum for the second time in as many possessions. Neither one was called for a foul, and Pritchard able to score it.
Well, the officials, they don't have the whistles in their pocket, but they're not looking to blow them a lot in this final 9 minutes.
Yeah, running clock would not be a bad thing for both coaches. Hardy couldn't penetrate, kicks it outside to Exum. We go under 9 minutes to go here in Game 4. Exum looks for three, takes it, can't make it, rebounded by Hauser. 100-65 Dallas. Pritchard baseline jumper, no, tapped, Cornette won't go, comes all the way out, tapped, and Boston has it. O'Shea Brissett puts it on the deck, drives the lane against Powell, missed, tipped in by Brissett.
Nice job, O'Shea. He stayed right with it underneath the rim, knocked it in with his left hand, and Jaden Springer at the scores table in front of us, waiting to come in for Boston.
Former 76er is Hardaway, topside three, makes it back-to-back. You know, he came into this game 0 for 7 from the field in the finals, 0 for 4 from 3, and he's got a couple.
But
103-67.
A proven score. There's no question about that.
Oh, Svi Mikhailuk's shot just went slowly 360 around the rim and fell off. that doesn't speak of the night for Boston. That's it. Hardaway drills another three. Tim Hardaway Jr. couldn't buy a three-point shot in the finals. And so far off the bench tonight, he's 3 for 3 in garbage time from distance. Timeout, Boston.
He averaged 14 points a game. He's a proven scorer in the league. And again, Jason Kidd is looking for anybody to join the party. It had been a struggle in the first 3 games. He loves seeing these other players stepping up. That gives him more potential moves he can make in Boston.
Hardaway at one point this season was a 6th Man of the Year candidate. And we got a timeout here. They're happy in Dallas with 8:01 to go. Fourth quarter, Mavericks 106, Celtics 67. You're listening to the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
This weekend on ESPN Radio. One of the fiercest rivalries in sports begins another chapter.
Crushes one over the monster.
The AL East leading New York Yankees storm into Fenway Park to go head-to-head with the Boston Red Sox.
It is a rivalry marinated in history, home runs, and haymakers.
The Yankees at the Red Sox. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern and Sunday at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Welcome to our Sunday night booth.
To be live on ESPN talking about this mid-game.
Say cheese.
Welcome, MLB's big-time players.
That guy is a superstar.
Big-time plays.
Oh, my God, he caught it!
Are you kidding me?
And big-time personalities.
Start showing off.
Welcome to the show. Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Capital One. Sundays at 7 Eastern, all season long on ESPN.
The Elle Duncan Show. The Olympic team faces the All-Star team. And, of course, the underlying, is Caitlin Clark going to get snubbed? You leave her off the WNBA All-Star game. You're tripping, bruh. It could really be a revenge tour for Arike Gumbawale, who was like the actual snub on the Olympic roster.
I mean, you got top 5 scorers who are left off of Team USA.
I think this could be competitive and look chippy. I'm into it.
You can find the Elle Duncan Show on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Doors!
Let's go. FX is the bear.
What's this?
So non-negotiables. That's how restaurants at the highest level operate.
These are the scribblings of a madman.
The Emmy Award-winning The Bear returns.
What's with the menu change every day?
It's kind of Banana Town.
Why are you doing this?
So they can see what we're capable of.
Who's they?
FX is the Bear. All new episodes streaming June 27th. Only on Hulu.
Kevin Winter, I want to thank all of you who logged on to our social media accounts at NBA on ESPN Radio to vote in the AutoZone in the Zone poll question. 43% of you said Luka Doncic should be the player to get in the zone. I failed you all again. I put 2 Boston Celtics on the list. I should not have put any. The proper answer is the entire Dallas Mavericks team. 106-67. Dallas by 39, setting up Game 5 Monday night. Kesty, PJ, George, back to you.
We're in the zone, still in the zone, and guys who haven't played in weeks, hoping to see some of that zone. A.J. Lawson, second-year guard coming in for Dallas. PJ, the Celtics are going to lose their 6th straight time in the finals with a chance to clinch the championship on the road. The last time they won a road game to clinch was also in Texas. In Houston, Cornbread Maxwell of the Celtics. Will be some who
theorized they wanted to clinch it at home. I'm not buying that, and I guarantee Joe Missoula is not buying it either. But
at this point, why not? Right? Well, we're going to burn this one and say, hey, we're heading home as Mikhailuk for Boston can't hit the topside 3, rebounded by Dallas.
I'll tell you what, Kesty, observation, we know this series is far from over. George Sedano has done an exceptional job in the timeouts, relaying to us short.
Hardaway feeling it, PJ. 4 for 4 from
That's
3.
a good sign for him for the next game, but I think George can take the rest of the night off.
We'll send him for early dinner. He would appreciate that.
You know what? If you want, I can get the table for us ready at the restaurant.
That would be very considerate of you, Mr. Sedano.
As Pritchard misses the 3, I want to add it would be the first time he's been early to dinner on this entire finals trip.
Well,
but he's working hard doing a talk show.
He's a West Coast star. He's got to do his own radio show in addition to working with us.
By the way, the lead is 42, and Hardaway makes it 45. He's 5 for 5 off the bench from three-point land.
Tim Hardaway is going to earn some playing time.
Tim Hardaway was 0 for 7 for the finals from the field. He has hit 5 3-pointers in garbage time here in Game 4. 112-67. The rout continues. Mikhailuk catch and shoot 3. Doesn't have an answer for Boston. Rebounded by Hardaway. You know they want him to shoot.
Of course.
Here's Hardaway negotiating traffic. Launches a 3. That one's no good. Rebounded by Svi.
That was a definite heat check right there.
2 players in his face as Cornette lifts from 10 and misses it. We're going to go deep into the Boston bench in a moment.
We're heading up to Maine, I think, as a matter of fact.
Of the Maine Celtics about to come in as Hardy drills a 3. Guys who haven't seen the light of day hitting triples here tonight feel like Oprah. You get a 3. You get a 3. And it's 115-67 Dallas.
Jordan Walsh also at the scorer's table for the Celtics.
5:40 to go here as Mikhailuk steps back for 3. 2 big hops and finally drills a triple. Svi getting some points. He had been 0 for 6 before that triple. 115-70 Mavericks. And a whistle. Oh, they actually had to blow the whistle because Hardaway nearly got knocked off the block as he ran into Luke Cornette that time. About the only thing that could slow down Tim Hardaway Jr. Dwight Powell is out. Olivier Maxence Prosper, they call him Omax.
Omax, that's
the
one of our
in.
NBA Academy guys who's been hurt.
From Canada.
Very happy with him. Nice that he gets a chance to play in the finals here. He's going to be a good player in this league.
Ramesh Keita is in as well for Boston. Here's Lawson off the inbound, drives, can't convert. O'Shea Brissett has it, still 5:16 to go. Going to look a little G League-ish here down the stretch as Brissett misses the shot as he gets fouled. 115-70, Dallas leading Boston.
Should point out, Kesty, I know Dallas listeners are certainly aware of this. First time Dallas has scored 100 points in the finals.
That's a great point. They had a couple games or at least one game in the Western Finals where they were well over 100. And Jason Kidd told us on a couple of occasions, if you had told me that we held Boston to 107, 105, 106, I'd think we'd get a couple of those.
Oh no, for sure. He thought he would have guaranteed for certain.
It was against Oklahoma City. Put up 119 points in one of those games.
Yep, 117, 119.
5 minutes to go here. Here's Omax, blocked by Keita. And it goes off of Omax and out of bounds.
How about Dallas? 8 field goals in this quarter. 7 of them are three-point shots, Cass. You said they needed threes to get to 100 and to beat Boston. No, I absolutely did not.
115-72. Dallas. Pritchard lofts for Cato, grabs it and flushes at the rim.
Because, talking about that OKC reminds me the point that I left dangling out there a long time ago. Derek Jones Jr., the defensive matchups he's had. First round, Paul George. Second round, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Third round, Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, and then Tatum or Brown in this series. That is some pretty challenging defensive work.
Saw Paul George before the game. Did some work over on ESPN as well as Brissett misses a shot. We have 4:15 to go here. Dallas 115-74 and put 2 more on the board. Jaden Hardy loves this time of game.
It took him a little while to get on track.
Jaden
Hardy's played really well in meaningful minutes in this series. First couple minutes, he looked like he was not engaged.
Pritchard hits a 3 from outside.
That's
long
a good
awaiting
sign.
3.
That is a good sign.
0 for 5 tonight. Had been 1 for 9 in the final coming in. 117-77. 40-point lead for Dallas. Morris missing the topside J. Jordan Walsh grabs a rebound. Walsh, the rookie from Arkansas. Pritchard, three-pointer, might have got deflected by Lawson, who came to close out. The outlet pass was tipped, controlled by Omax. Down to Lawson for the layup for Dallas. Those three-point numbers coming in, by the way. Dallas was shooting 37% in the postseason, only 28% in the finals, and only 25% from other shooters than Luka and Kyrie. So they finally get going.
Over 40% tonight.
3 minutes to go in Game 4 as we get set for a Game 5 in Boston. We had a near steal by the Mavericks and a foul against Dallas, which leads 119-77. The Dallas Mavericks will pin a loss on Boston. You know, no team in NBA history had ever won the final two series sweep. It won't happen here tonight as Pritchard chased down a short miss. Morris can't come up with the ball, and it'll stay with Boston. It went out of bounds, hit the back of the backboard off of Morris.
Christy, we heard repeatedly in the last couple days they had to a timeout. Many Boston players saying, hey, we know you can come back from 3-0 down. We did it last year, and we forced a Game 7 in our own building. We didn't get it done, but they're very much aware 3-0 is not insurmountable.
I like Jason Kidd's pregame quote. Somewhere in this game, there's going to be a point where someone's going to make a stand or let go of the rope. Dallas did not let go of the rope tonight. 2:54 to go. Mavericks 119, Celtics 77, and this is the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app presented by Indeed.
The Baseball Tonight podcast.
Let's start with Bobby Witt Jr., who's one of the early candidates for the American League MVP. It feels like such a turning point for the Royals.
The Baseball Tonight podcast is on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts. Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I must have missed the memo when jeggings were back in style.
Wait, jeggings?
Jeggings.
Are they back in style?
I'm assuming they are, because when I walked in this morning, the first face that I see is our very own Hembo. You're looking at the fit, and it's fit check, and it's like, wait a minute, those are painted on. What are we doing here? Why is Hembo's jeans so damn tight?
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. This is Freddie and Harry.
Big Mike in Texas, what you got, my friend?
Oh, my God. You know, I'll wait on the phone forever until the show is over, you know?
We appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Freddie, Dan, I'm going to tell you, I work nights, midnight as a delivery manager, and I listened to you for years up all night, man. And I appreciate it. And I want to tell you, man, yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't have worked there that long if you hadn't been on the radio.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Cure or prevent any disease.
Kevin Winter with you inside our Granger studio. How'd the night go for the city of Boston? Yankees 8, Red Sox 1. There's your final. All right, here's your schedule the next 3 days on ESPN Radio. Coverage of the Sox Yanks tomorrow night. We got our Saturday game of the week, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Sox Yanks Sunday night baseball beginning at 6 Eastern time. And, oh yeah, what the heck. Coverage of Game 5 of these NBA Finals Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, back in Boston. Kesty, PJ, George, back to you for the final, well, whatever we're doing here.
Yeah, I think we've had enough precincts for quite some time to call it. Are we going to weasel our way into Fenway Sunday night?
We're going to try.
John Boog Shambi,
I was going to say,
booth?
Boog better let us in the booth.
We don't get tossed beforehand. 119-77, Dallas the lead. In the history of the NBA playoffs, teams that are up 3-0, we know they've never lost. 95 of those series ended in a sweep, so there will not be a 96 tonight as Jordan Walsh penetrates, throws one up, no. The shot attempt on the weak side, Brissett, got deflected out of bounds to Dallas. 46 series ended in 5 games after the team was up 3-0. 11 got it to a Game 6. 4 got it to a Game 7, but of course nobody in NBA playoff history has rallied down 0-3 as Prosper Omax misses. But I am reminded, since we just talked about the Yankees-Red Sox,
I was just going to say,
happened in baseball.
If Kevin Winter were here,
he'd let me know.
We would be reminded right now when it happened in baseball.
Now, in championship series, you got to go to the 42 Maple Leafs in the Stanley Cup Finals to rally back from 3 games to none.
You did some serious research here.
We're getting knee-deep into the research as Jaden Springer tried to flip one up and had it knocked away. 2:10 to go here in Game 4. 119-77. 42-point lead. Remember, that is the number for the biggest win in NBA Finals history as Hardy misses, I should say. Dallas led by as many as 48, and now Keita goes down doing the splits a little bit, the 7-footer, as he got fouled at 1:55 to go here in the fourth.
It's one of those rare times, but it does happen every once in a while in the NBA where the clock cannot move fast enough for either coach.
And neither team is traveling tonight. It's going to be a tough night to spend in Dallas if you're Boston, or maybe you just shove it up and say, hey, we got the first 3. We're still up 3-1. We're headed home. Still in good position.
You can't take it too.
The coach in you says nope.
Yeah, no. Hey, boys, we better refocus, or we're going to be coming back here trying to end this thing again. So, no, a totally different mindset. Not accepting at all of this performance tonight.
Game 5 will be Monday night. If there's a need for a Game 6 here, that would be Thursday night. And if there's a need for a 7 back in Boston, that would be a week from Sunday.
Sunday the 23rd.
Brissett for 3, cans it from the left wing with 1:28 to go. Celtics trailing by 39. 119-80 Dallas. Jaden Hardy with the drive into 2 players, finds Markieff Morris, can't drill the 3 out of the corner, but it's an offensive rebound, reload, Morris hits! Markieff Morris, the 34-year-old veteran with the 3.
He's got a big smile. Peyton Pritchard with a good move. I tell you, we gave George Sedano the remainder of the night off. Our producer, John Madani, never stops working. How about this little stat he just dropped on me?
What do you got?
Kyrie and Luka from the three-point line tonight combined. Give me the number. 1 for 14.
What's the rest of the team?
Unbelievable.
13
the rest of the team is 14 for 23.
Wow. Did you have that in your keys as Pritchard hits another free throw for Boston?
I had 3s. I had they would need 3s. I didn't specify who was going to get them.
122-84 in favor of the Mavericks. 30 seconds to go.
Record appears to be safe.
Yeah. We're at 38 points right now. The difference as Tim Hardaway Jr. will just dribble out the shot clock, and now the Celtics can dribble out the rest of the clock. So the Boston Celtics won't get a sweep. They will not earn their 18th banner tonight, but they will have the home floor Monday night for a Game 5.
You think a lot of the Dallas fans and probably some of the players and coaches are going to be shaking their head going, damn, we were down 1 point with 3 minutes to go in Game 3, and we let that one get away, or this series would be all even. It is not.
The Dallas Mavericks down to their final loss of the finals. Yeah, they didn't get swept, and they put down a 38-point beatdown on the Boston Celtics. The finals remains alive. The 3rd largest margin of victory in NBA Finals history, and we're on to Game 5 in Boston Monday night as the Mavericks win it 122-84.
All credit to the Dallas Mavericks, a thoroughly dominating game. Defense, especially rebounding, was a landslide. Second chance points in the paint, assists, just a tremendous, and a lift off the bench points. Others, everything good for the Dallas Mavericks tonight.
Got a very happy set of Dallas Mavericks. Pressure off a bit. They've been playing under a lot of frustration. There were times they thought they were playing well and just could not solve the Boston Celtics. It was a struggle from Jump Street for the Boston Celtics so far, or during this evening, and Dallas had all the answers tonight as the Boston lead has been cut to 3-1. Dallas gets a win. Luka Doncic went for 29 points. Kyrie Irving added 21 points, and he's standing by with our George Sedano.
Thank you, Kesty. Kyrie, you guys were so close in some of these games. It was just a couple of possessions here or there. What was the chatter like heading into this one?
Just to take our time and understand that we're in a moment where we're playing for our lives, and a lot of desperation is needed, a lot of doing the little things, and ultimately believing in each other. This was a hard-fought win, and we deserved it. We earned it. We did it for a full 48 minutes, and now we got to go up to Boston and try to do the same thing.
Your teammate, Luka Doncic, took a lot of grief in the media here over the last 48 hours. What do you say about his performance tonight?
I'm proud of him. He's been able to respond practically his whole life, man. He's not the only one that's been through some stuff in his life, and that's what we do in our locker room is we talk about it. We make sure we galvanize around each other. And we don't pay attention to any external distractions. We can't. We're in the finals, man, so we want to put our energy on our best foot forward and the right things.
When I peek into your huddles, you're such a calming force in those huddles with your teammates. Now, you were on the first team to ever come back down 3-1 in the finals. How do you become the first team to come back 0-3 in the final?
By not thinking about it like that. You know what I mean? History is going to be made like it was made tonight. We had a chance to extend our season. We did that. That was one goal that we got out of the way. Now our next goal is to go to Boston and play well. And that's it, man. It's pretty simple. Let's play our best and see if we can continue to extend the season.
You did tell those Boston fans you'd be back for Game 5, and here you are.
Yeah, I did. And there was a lot of confidence in my guys, and I was just waiting for us to all come to the party and show up really well, including myself. But it started with our resolve and our belief in each other.
Kyrie, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Guys, back to you.
Appreciate it, George.